So what up? What up? What up, fam? What up? What up? What up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So we are here. First of all, we just want to say welcome, everybody. We're here to, of course, go into another session where we're going to be speaking to someone who actually went on a sacred uh, ceremonial plant medicine retreat. They had a journey, and we want to talk to them and give them an opportunity to share their experience of what happened, before, how they kind of got prepared and everything for it, how their life was before the journey, what happened during the journey, and more importantly, what's going on after, right after the journey. So we will be talking about it, but I just wanted to say a couple of things first, even before we get into it. I just want to give a little bit of address to this, right? We want to address this,
Right now, I'm just sharing. Y'all know how I do, so I'm
right?
not saying nothing right now because I'm just sharing this.
Right. And you gotta scoot over a little bit closer to me if you can, if it's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So like my wife and I have been talking. We've
Y'all
been
make
doing
sure y'all
this.
share this too. Share this, y'all.
We've been doing this now for a while. Doing
Done
these.
many journeys,
Yeah,
many
we've been
retreats.
on many journeys, but I'm saying like really like hosting, holding space for people to actually heal. This year, 2022, we have been holding space for people, many people to heal. And as for many people that have actually come to be open, to be courageous enough to, you know, let go of their fears and be, you know, um, intentful about their healing journey, right? Because walking down this pathway, it's been a whole lot of stereotypical propaganda negatively kind of splashed on what it is that we're kind of moving in just in this space overall on one side, and then at the same time uh, there are government factions that are already opening the doors for what it is that we do to be legal in their states and to provide help because they already know the benefits of what's happening, right? So um, somebody said, "Hey, family." I don't know who said it, but you know what I'm saying. What's happening? What's good? I need to get on and kind of see what the world's happening too. So let me see what's
Hey,
up.
that's Brittany.
Okay.
Hey, Brittany, how you doing? Hey. What we're doing, guys, we tried to bring Crystal in earlier. That's why we came on here late because she was having technical difficulties. Of course, she was having technical difficulties when it's time for her to come up here and
Yeah,
share
that's
her
how real
testimony.
it is.
That's how stuff is going down all the time. But
You
it
doing
is
this
what
one?
it is.
Doing this
Yeah, I need to share it on the page too.
one? Yes.
But yeah, y'all make sure y'all share this. But she was having technical difficulties. That's what was taking so long for us to come on here. And so now we're on here and we're giving her time to get settled and get to the good signal. Make sure her lighting is good, so that when she comes on here, we will be able to add on here, break it down. So y'all work with us
Yeah, we glad you
while
made
we
it.
Hey, glad you made it too,
Hmm.
Angie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What up, though, Ann?
Mm-hmm.
Um.
So, hey y'all, share this with people that y'all know
Yeah. Yeah.
that may want to partake or that may want to be able to hear this testimony or who you feel like would be able to
Benefit from it.
benefit from it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
Okay, let me just share this a few more places.
Hmm.
Crystal's here.
Yep. So
Okay,
she's here. She's
Crystal's
set up.
here.
She's set up, and
She's set
yeah,
up.
you can let her
So
know. Let's see.
hold on one second, guys. We're gonna get ready to let her in here. Her to and give me one second, y'all. Almost done. promise y'all this one is about to be something.
Yeah, so like I was saying, ultimately we have the government that is now opening lanes and considering, um, would you say, plant medicine, sacred plant medicine, a psychedelic, um, you know, um, plant medicines for serious treatment for people, right? That have dealt with PTSD, depression, addiction. I mean, some serious things going on, right? And so, and this is addiction to drugs, to cigarettes, to alcohol, to all kinds of stuff. And so, again, if you do your own research, you be able to find that this is extremely safe, okay? Regardless to other, I guess, pieces of information, because you'll be able to find just about anything you want to look for on the internet. But what you want to do is just check and make sure that things are legit, that they're authentic, right? The pieces of information or the resources that you are gathering, that it is authentic, that it is official, and it's not something real flamboyant, fugazi, and all of that, right? So that means that you have to roll your sleeves up and really look
Hey, Saniqua.
what's going on, sis. So the thing is that you would have to then look at some very creditable, reputable, right, resources in order for you to be like, oh, okay, what would be a good one? John Hopkins University. That's a really good one because they lead. They're like in the top four, right, as far as universities, and this is globally all over the world that have done many studies on plant medicine and the benefits thereof. So that's what that is. And so,
Okay, so something is going on. We have
what is going on?
I don't know.
What's
Maybe
happening?
people are dropping out. I don't know
Okay.
because it says I sent it to you in error. So I don't know if people's they hopping off or hopping on. I don't know.
It's
Whatever.
okay. It's gonna be okay. Like at the end of the day, we're on live. Whoever's here, you can hear us, and you're gonna get some real good information. You're gonna be able to hear a serious testimony from someone who actually did go through a journey, right? You're gonna be able to hear how their life was beforehand, what they went through, and what they experienced during the journey, as well as what took place afterwards, because that's really the most important part. Okay, so
Hold on 1 second.
sure. So, again, at the end of the day, want to just make sure that we let you guys know. My wife and I, we have been seriously talking about this, and we have been talking about, we've been talking about where people, especially our people, right, of African descent, they say they really need help, right? They say
Is
that
that lighting good?
yes,
Okay.
that's fine. We gonna make it work.
Want to make sure they can see us.
Yeah. Um, you lighter than me, so if they can see me,
Then we good.
right, then we good. Shoot, that just kind of threw my whole train of thought off. But at any point, I'll start over with this. Is that oh yeah, my wife and I we were talking about how people say that they need help, especially our people, and we know this. We know, right? Um, but it's like anything. It's all about fear. She wanted to know about her lighting.
Um,
She looks great.
your lighting is pretty good, Crystal.
Right.
We sitting up in here dark too. I'm sitting here looking at our lighting too. Y'all let us know. Do we look like we
Yeah.
too dark or do we look like we good? Do we need to brighten up the screen? Y'all let us know
Hmm.
if this is cool. If y'all cool and y'all can rock with us,
Yeah.
like
So
this.
my wife and I were talking because we've held space for so many people,
Do we
right?
normally have a TV on behind us?
No,
She
but
said.
mhm.
She said we good.
Yeah, it's
Okay, we
okay.
good. Okay, we good.
Yeah.
Okay,
People are saying
so.
we good. We look good. Hey, we look good. That's what's up.
Mm,
Okay. Ow.
mm, mm,
Ow. Okay.
mm.
And so, listen, we know that we need the help. Our community needs the help. But overall, my wife and I, through all of these journeys that we've actually gone on independently, separately, outside of hosting the space, okay? Because my wife goes in basically before every ceremony for the most part. It's like she goes in, she consults with the medicine to see what dosage is going to be best for everyone and all this other stuff. So if anybody spent, as much time in the spirit realm and in this space, out of everyone that is connected to is going to be her, because she's a shaman and she's the oracle, right? So through us going through all of these journeys and having these experiences, what we realize is that everybody needs to, this is just us, right? This is our view on this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to have this experience, right?
Yes,
Or have these
and
experiences.
everybody's experience is different, right?
Right.
So I always say if a million people went on a million journeys at the same time or different times, everybody's journey will be different, right? And so when y'all have heard us talk to other people about their experience of the journey and the things that they've experienced, everybody's story is different,
Right.
right? And so Crystal's story is about to be different too, right? Some of the places that we're gonna go tonight, we gonna be so transparent, y'all. We gonna let y'all know what stuff really be looking like in
Right.
ceremony, because
Right.
people gotta really understand what this is. People have to really understand what we be up against and then what they be up against, right?
Yeah, that no,
And
that's real.
so we just want to let's let her in here and we'll just just chat for a second and then
Okay, well, no, I mean, if we gonna get
excuse me.
into it, we getting ready to get into it, y'all. So, without further ado, we want to bring someone who has now, just like basically everyone who has had this experience, right, with us coming into the sacred ceremonial space. By the time it's all over with, everyone there just feels much, much closer and more united. We kind of call each other spirit family at that point, because it really is. There's a point, especially if you're on a a retreat type setting and it's multiple nights that a person has come, right? We do the overnight situations. My wife sets things up sometimes where people are able to come and spend maybe 2 nights or whatever, and or like a 3 day situation where people are with the medicine, 2 times and have a full day of integration. Like
Wait a
it's
minute, can
serious.
I just pause you right quick? That's serious. It's serious, but honestly, like, it matter but it don't matter at the same time. And I only say that because you'll understand that more with Crystal too, because people be feeling like, oh, okay, I have to go on the 3 day one or I have to go on the 2 day one, right? So it don't matter. The point is, when you know that you're supposed to go on a journey, you just take your ass on the journey and do what you got to do to change your mindset, because ain't nothing gonna change till your mindset change,
Right,
right?
right, right, right. So, in essence, in saying all of that, we just talked about how it's really what it boils down to is people pushing past their fear. That's what it boils down to. A lot of things that have people held up is because of the trauma that they're holding on to that cause whatever level of fear in their lives, and they're holding on to it because they're afraid, right, of revisiting that trauma. People feel like maybe it's best for me not to revisit the trauma. But at the end of the day, that trauma is the very thing that's showing up in your life.
Holding you back.
It's holding you back and it's creating roadblocks and obstacles and creating walls that you got to deal with. And most times you're unable to get past. And you scratching your head wondering what in the hell is going on, when ultimately it's really connected to the trauma and that fear, right? So it is about being courageous, right? Being sick and tired of being sick and tired of the results that you know you're receiving
Or not
or
receiving.
not receiving, right? And getting into this thing. So without further ado, this is one of our spirit family members, right? Um, just a really cool person, and just even within the journeys, her gifts have been stirred up, and she's extremely gifted, right? Gifted individual like all of us, but she's tapping into her gifts. So we want to welcome Miss Crystal Percival, Mrs. Crystal Percival.
How you know we she wanted us to have her last name
Yay!
on there?
I mean,
It don't
hey,
matter.
you know what I'm saying? It is
Hey,
what it is.
Crystal.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, can y'all hear her good? If y'all can hear her good, put some ones in the chat. If y'all can hear Crystal good before we go in and we start you know, doing all that.
Right.
Oh, okay. So Janetta, she said we good. Okay, so Janetta's on the other page
Okay,
over
good.
there instead of this page. So I'm gonna have this one. Okay, cool. So I'll have both of them up.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
Look,
Crystal,
she getting shout outs already. Hey, Crystal.
right. Do we have to have both of those screens up or for now, or can we make this one bigger for us?
Um,
If
I
not,
don't
don't worry
know,
about it.
but I mean, I could take it out. I guess I don't know if it'll, do that simply because we have a guest and
Got it. Okay, we can
yeah.
worry about it. Okay. So
Okay.
Crystal, I am so wait. Let me hear.
Hey.
Can y'all? Did y'all say y'all can hear her? Okay. Let us know if y'all can
So
hear
let's do it like
Crystal.
this. Does that
Talk.
feel better?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's way better.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, talk Crystal. Let them know it. Let's see if they can hear you before we
Hello.
start going in, so you don't be having to repeat yourself and stuff.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. So if you guys can hear Crystal, just throw a one in the comments real quick if you can hear her.
Can you turn her up on our side?
Well, I'm trying to figure that out now. I just want
Is
to
that
make
it right
sure.
there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's on our side, sure.
Oh, okay.
Um, but I just want to make sure that everybody else can hear her because her story is something else, man.
Let's see. Let's see. If y'all
Her
can hear
ex-
her, the ones that's up in here, go ahead and put some ones. It be like a little slight delay. Y'all go ahead and put some ones in the comment if y'all can hear Crystal. Hey, hey, hey.
So yeah, you getting love. You got people talking
Okay,
about
we
say,
got
"Hey,
some
you
ones.
looking
Okay, we
good,"
got
and
some ones. We got some
right,
ones. Okay, there
right.
we go. They can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So tonight, y'all, what we gonna talk about Crystal and how Crystal was before going on her journey. What is it that made her feel like that she was ready for a journey? And then what happened during her journey, and then what happened after her journey. Like we want to talk about all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so Crystal, I know already know you okay with us being transparent, right? About how everything went down because let me tell y'all,
Hmm.
at both retreats,
Mm-hmm.
uh Crystal ass gave me a run for my money. Do you hear me?
When you say a run for your money, what does that
y'all
actually
y'all
mean?
y'all will understand she had me working.
Yeah.
That's what that means. She had me working, but guess what? Her ass was working too.
Yep.
Right? I wasn't just the one working. It was a beautiful thing, though, wasn't it, Crystal? When in the end,
Yes.
it was a beautiful
Yes.
thing. And so I just want to make sure that we explain to y'all how real this get, cuz this ain't fake, y'all.
Oh no, by any means.
This ain't fake, but at
Mm-mm.
one point in time, Crystal thought it was.
Oh man. So
Right? You remember that, Crystal? We
yeah,
going to get to
yeah,
that
yeah.
Yep.
too.
You like, woo, you
we
went
gonna
in.
we gonna
Okay.
get to that too. I just want to be able
Yeah.
to, like I said, be transparent and to be able to help people understand the things that be going on in ceremony and what be going on. Excuse
Uh-oh.
me, in
You
other
okay?
people's minds too. Yeah, something down the
Okay.
wrong pipe.
All right. Uh-oh. That's
Excuse
not
me,
good.
y'all.
You need to make sure you good.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So so let's get into it. I mean, obviously, Crystal is here. She is here to share, um, I guess, kind of like three phases of this. Like, kind of just explain, your life beforehand and where you were, what kind of caused you to think about really getting off into this, why you felt like you needed to do it. Because most people, I think, they kind of get to a point where they're like, yo, I need to do something. And then that fear takes over and they end up not moving forward, right?
Yep. Well, for me, I knew. I knew because I go to church all the time. And I'm like, this is not the peace God said I'm supposed to have. It can't be. It cannot be the peace I was supposed to have.
So like what was it? How did you even get introduced and connected to this whole situation with us?
Tell us what you put out into the atmosphere first, right? Because people don't understand it. I know you understand it now,
Yes.
but I know you did not understand it before going on a journey, right? Because your eyes was not open to it. But apparently you cried out into the universe. You cried out to God at some point, right?
Yes.
And
I was
so
like, something got to change. Something got to change. This is not how I'm supposed to be living. This is just not it. It's just not it. Like I I hate to say it, but I used to be happy being mad. Like I used to be mad at people and just be like, I'm ready to snap. So please try me if you want to. I'm ready to snap. And I was like, that can't be normal. This is not
Wow.
the peace. I'm going to church every day. Not every day, but every, all the time. And I'm trying to figure out why I'm happy for that moment, but I'm just not happy. I'm ready to pop off. I'm ready to
Oh man.
tell people any type of thing, and it just, I knew it wasn't normal. I knew this is not, I can't go to church and just be arguing on the way to church, arguing on the way back from church. I can't
Hmm.
I can't be going through a roller coaster. Why am I going through a roller coaster?
Now let me say this because that's a major point. And see, this is the things that my wife and I especially highlight. My wife always hits on what she calls masks because that's what it is, right? It's like your in your real life, in your real daily activity, it's going down. It's like it's popping off, right?
Yep.
It's hectic. You know what I'm saying? And but then it's like, okay, when it's time to go to church, then okay, right, we gonna put on this mask, and like you said, you in the whip now, you with your
Yep.
family, and y'all fussing and arguing, and soon as
ain't
you
no
get
damn mask on the way to church or on the way
way
home.
home, right? But yeah, it's like soon as you get out of the car door, okay, all right, get your together, okay, all right, okay. Hey, how
Yeah.
you doing? Grace and
Don't
peace,
talk.
everybody. How
Don't
you
say
doing?
nothing. Yep.
And it's like this is how people operate on a daily. They basically putting up a front. They wearing a mask and they dealing with real stuff, and they go into the building of the church, right? The building of the church, and they get some good music to emotionalize them. I know because I'm a psalmist, I'm a singer, so I already know like a certain chord, a few melodies can put you in an emotional space where you like, okay, I can just let go now, and I can just, I thank you, God. And it's like, okay, so now everything is better, and God's gonna do everything for you. You hope, because that's what you praying for, right? When you get in there, you hoping that things are gonna change, and you leaving it all to God in the building. And then when you get out, somebody does something, cuts you off, does something, says something, and then it's back to what
I'm
it was.
ready.
Yeah.
I'm
You see
ready.
what I'm saying?
Because you
Man.
ain't gonna try me. But
See, yeah.
honestly, when I used to be in church, I used to be so emotional, like because everything would hit a nerve because I knew I wasn't happy. Even though I had this great thing, it was like anything would pierce through my heart, like real quick. So something could think, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so me." But I had to, and all, yeah. But it's like it's
Wow.
so me, and it
Hmm.
would just hit me. So I would just break down, and I would always cry in church because I would just feel it more emotionally. Because I'm like, even though I felt like, of course, I'm putting on this mask and this is not truly how I feel inside. How I truly feel inside is not right. It's not right. This can't be the peace beyond my understanding because it wasn't
Yeah.
no peace.
So you saying it wasn't matching? Things weren't matching.
Yeah, it wasn't matching up.
Hmm.
It was, it wasn't matching up at all.
So then, how did you like finally get to like this connection? Because obviously, like my wife said, and she asked, like, so you put it out in the atmosphere. What did you actually do? What happened?
Well, I kept saying in my head like this can't be right. So I'm trying to read different verses and everything because I'm like this is not right. And then Miss Amanda called me And she was like, "Have you heard about Joshua Tree?" I was like, "No, I haven't heard about Joshua Tree." She was like, "You should watch it. You should watch the thing." And I was like, "Okay." And then she sent me this link, but I never got to watch it because I don't know how to use Facebook and those type of stuff, and the link wasn't working for me. So, she said she called me back. Okay. So in my mind, I didn't understand about Joshua Tree, but I understood it was something that it was going to be better for my life. I understood it was going to be something better for my life. So I was like, okay, well, I know I want to go to this, but I don't know what it's about, and I knew I was going to have to align some stuff for my kids. I wasn't worried about the finances because I know I'm going to make it happen. I was worried about, okay, I got 4 kids. I got to make sure they got babysitters. I got to make sure everything going to be lined up. I got to make sure everything is just working right. And then soon as I said that, of course everything just went all haywire. And I was like, okay, so I started thinking, okay, when I'm not probably, because Miss Amanda had told me that there was one in Atlanta and then there's one in Michigan. I was like, well, I never been to Michigan, so I'm down for going, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that timeline. Soon as I said that, everything went haywire, and that even pushed me more. I was like, oh. And then Miss Amanda happened to call me back like 2 or 3 days later because she never knew I didn't watch the link and I didn't get to see the link. But because I was already trying to prepare how I'm gonna get there and which date I'm gonna go to. Am I gonna wait till it comes to Atlanta? Then
So
when them
wait, let me
things
pause.
went,
Let me pause you right there real quick so I can explain to the people what she's talking about, right? Because it was a mix up from the beginning, right? Amanda was watching. Amanda knew that this is something that she should go through from somebody that she heard, about their experience, right? And so she tapped in, but she wasn't completely sure about everything. So when she called Crystal and said, "Have you seen the Joshua tree?" See, she thought that's just what we were doing was
Right.
called.
Right.
Joshua Tree was a specific retreat that we did in this past the first one was this past July in Joshua Tree, California. And we chose to do a retreat there because it is a ley line and a meridian point, and the veil is weaker there, so you can go deeper into the spiritual realm there. And so we decided to have the retreat there. It was a lot of miraculous things that happened. So many people got set free,
Yes.
and it was amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
videos that I was posting was talking about Joshua Tree and it being sold out, and all of that. So she just kind of got that mixed up a little bit when she was talking about Joshua Tree, but that's what Joshua
Yeah,
Tree is.
I kind of like that though, because even when she didn't really know everything about it, she was just like, "Yo, did you hear about the Joshua's tree?"
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Because you need to know about this thing that's happening, right?
Right.
yeah,
And so that I thought that was pretty cool. So you got wind of it from a friend, who what you guys went to the same church,
yes.
right? And so she heard about it. She was like, "Yo, girl, this is what you need. You need to check this out." And you was like, "Okay." And then what happened?
So as I said, everything went haywire. So when she called me back 2 or 3 days later, I was like, "Look." First, she told me she was like, "Oh, it's 3 days. We going there for 3 days." Because I'm like, "Look, I don't care what it is. I'm going." And they look. If I happen to pass away, my kids gonna have to figure it out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take these 3 days, and they gonna have to figure it out. Everything gonna have to align. I just kept saying everything gonna have to align because it's either I sit here and lose my mind in my past part, as I'm gonna sit here and lose my mind and go off on somebody, or I'm gonna go and get changed and transfer and something's gonna happen. Because if I
Right.
sit here in the same stage that I'm going through, I'm gonna go off. And when I say
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go off, I'm ready to go off.
Okay. So see, listen, listen. I want y'all to hear whoever's here, whoever's gonna be looking at this. I want y'all to really hear this because at some point, what happened was what she's ultimately saying is when she made her mind up and she was like, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna commit to this. Like I'm going to the Joshua's tree, right?" All hell broke loose. You see what I'm saying? And most people they get it confused because when they're in the storm, then when they're in the war, see what happens is this. I gotta say this. What happens is that when spiritually things aren't going right, right? It's negativity and everything is popping off, and you're used to that, even though you don't like it. You're suffering, but you're kind of content in your suffering. It's like this is how life is right now. And so, you're walking around settling. Something comes along because you put it out in the universe. You just said to God, like, yo, it's gotta be a change. It's gotta be something else. This can't be it in my life. Then God answers that, brings you something, brings you something.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to you, you got some options.
Did you notice you say bring it to you? Bring it to you means it is attracted to you.
Right.
Because you put it in the universe, right?
Mm.
And so it comes to you. You don't always have to go out and find and search for it when you put it out in the atmosphere.
What that simply meant was that Crystal really meant what she said with her heart, her mind, and her spirit when she was like, it's got to be something different. I'm tired. It can't be like this. Life cannot be like this. So I need God. You gonna have to do something. And boom, that thing showed up for her. And she made the commitment. Once it showed up, she recognized it and was like, okay, even though she didn't get a chance to watch whatever it was she was supposed to watch, her mind was already made up. She was like, this is it. She got enough information for her to be like, okay, I'm cool. I'm with this. As soon as she made that commitment, all hell broke loose. That simply meant that all of the things that were negatively attracted and connected to her life now just got put on notice when Crystal said, I'm with the Joshua tree. Ultimately, I'm with the change. I'm with the change. And she stuck a flag in the ground and she screamed out, I declare war. That's what happened. And so then it was like, oh, really? She really want us to leave? That's what this, these negative spirits and everything was like, yo, like you trying to get rid of us? Oh, let's create some havoc, right? Let's create some stuff so she doesn't make it, so she gets discouraged, so we can
It pushed me
stay.
harder.
Exactly. And she had her mind made up. I just want to really make that point because
That's when you know that's when you know
Sick and tired of being sick and
that
tired.
you know, right? And that you made your mind up to go through what you have to go through to do the work to get to where you're supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because at first you was always in that low ass vibration, walking around in ego, ready to pop off because you
Wow.
didn't know that you had all these traumas, right? And the traumas turn into triggers, right? And so you holding it in your body, you holding it in your mind, you holding it in your soul, right? And because that's the vibration that you was giving off, that's the vibration that you was attracting back to you,
Wow. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so even though you put it out in the atmosphere, because you will have what you say, you will have what you say, point blank, period. Again, y'all already know how this go. The power of life and death is in the tongue, right? And what you speak, you gonna eat that fruit.
Yeah, it's showing up.
So you have to watch what you say, because whatever you say and you speak over that's good for your life, it's gonna happen. The shit gonna happen if you believe it and you move with intention. If the shit that you speaking for your life ain't the way it's supposed to be, or way that you see yourself for real, because the universe don't know the difference between you joking. But she put it out in the atmosphere. Even though she was vibrating right on that frequency, she meant what she said. I said what I said. I'm gonna need some help down here.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
That was, you know what I mean? Period.
Yeah.
You meant it.
That's
You
what I'm
thought
saying.
it.
It's an alignment.
It was an alignment.
Yeah,
You
that
meant
took
that
place.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You took it in, you said it in your mind, you connected it, and then you said, you know what? I'm put that shit in the atmosphere. And it got attracted right back to you. Boom. Now what you gonna do with it?
So now she battling with some stuff. And she going through some stuff and she like, I don't care. Like whatever it is that they're talking about there, that sounds like that's where I need to be. so that I can make this connection and I can get my breakthrough.
And she did not
Yep.
allow those obstacles to stop her. If y'all know how many people that reserve their space for a retreat or a ceremony, because I always tell them, look, when you say that you gonna come, that's when stuff be jumping off.
Yeah, you give them
Right?
the
I be
forewarning.
telling
You
people
give them the
that's
forewarning.
how stuff be jumping off. And that's exactly what happened. But I be getting a lot of people that be like, I don't know if I'm gonna go, or they be kind of going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, right? But apparently you were different because you just used that for fuel.
Yeah. And I really don't understand how people get discouraged because obviously whatever you were doing before wasn't working. How can you make in your mind say I'm ready to do something and then say no, I'm gonna go back to what I'm used to? No, because that's obviously what wasn't working. It wasn't working.
It
It
wasn't
was
working.
not working. If it
Mm-hmm.
was working, you would have never said, "Oh, I think I need a change." You would have kept doing what you was doing. So for me, I'm like y'all. I don't know. Sometimes I be like, y'all ain't sick and tired like how I was sick and tired. I was sick and tired.
Yeah. So I have a question about that though. Like, pardon me, I do have a question. So Crystal, like, when you finally found out, like, okay, it's the Joshua tree, right? This is the Joshua tree thing, and you find out that the Joshua tree thing is really about this sacred plant medicine and everything that comes along with it. I mean, how did you even take that? What was your initial like idea and thoughts about that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm a very open mind person. And for me, I was saying, okay, I done tried all the other ways. I've been because I'm going to church. I'm doing right. I'm reading my Bible. I'm treating people good. I'm putting out things that are good in the atmosphere. And I was like, this can't be what's coming back to me. This is can't be what God. There's no way that God sent Jesus down here to die for me and for me to feel like this all day. So I was like, okay, I already tried everything else. I've been trying to read it. I've been trying to doing everything on my own. So obviously, if I'm praying for a change and I'm praying for an answer to my problem and an answer come, how can I just deny it without researching it first? Or how can I deny it without trying it first? I
Mm.
didn't hear nothing bad about it. I didn't hear nothing. It wasn't like it was something coming to me that it was bad about it. I have never tried it. I heard about a whole bunch of other stuff in life that I ain't never tried, and yes, I have counted it out. But if I ain't heard nothing bad about it, why would I just deny something without finding out the facts about it first?
No, that's good. That's good. And so, I think that just speaks to the level of sincerity in regards to you desiring the change that you saw for your life, right? It's like, yo, I know right now I'm getting ready to step out of this box because whatever it was that I was doing is not working and I'm not happy with it. Okay.
Hmm.
And mind you, again, she already said earlier that, look, you know what I'm
Shaniqua
saying?
said, period.
Right. You see what I'm saying? It's like, look, this woman has four children. Okay, four children. She out here. She doing her thing, and she like, yo, it's this. Come on now, this thing is something else. Got to be something else. Got to be happening out here, right? Different from what it is that I'm experiencing, and so you took that on after you heard about the information and everything. So then, like, actually, just what took place? Like, what was the whole process for
Let's talk
you?
about before we talk about the first
Retreat.
ceremony that you came to in Ann Arbor. Let me just say this. Like she said, y'all, she thought that it was for 3 days because Amanda, who talked to her, thought that it was 3 days. And let me say, it was 3 days, but it clearly stated three overnight ceremonies, right? Three one night overnight ceremonies. Hey, Carla. And so
Yeah.
Amanda
When
was
I
just,
read that,
and she
when
read
I
it.
as soon as I read it, I was like, let me call her because I don't get it. Tell me what's the difference. Let me know.
Right. And so Amanda reached out to me and was like, no, was it you reached out or was it Amanda that said it was supposed to
I
be
reached
three
out to you. I
days?
was like, okay, so tell me the process because this say overnight, and I need to know which one I need to pick. So it's all three because I
Yeah,
don't
she like
understand overnight versus three.
right. She was like, I need to come all 3 days or whatever, blah blah blah.
All
And
three.
I was like, these are overnight ceremonies. And she like, I know, but I just need to know like what is it? What how much do I need to pay to
Oh
be there
yeah,
for all
Get
three
all three.
days? Because I need all 3 days. All the things that I'm going through.
yeah. She wasn't playing.
And I need to get this up off of me. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I want all 3 days.
Mm,
This is what she said to me.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Well, first of all, if you are there for 3 days, you're not gonna be working with the medicine for 3 days.
yeah.
Right?
And I didn't
Yeah.
understand that, of course, until now. But I didn't understand that at
Right.
first. I was like, I need all three. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. I need all three.
And she said it like that. No, that's
I hear
exactly
you,
how she
but
said
I
it.
need all three.
Yeah, that's exactly how she said it. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I thought it was so funny, but I was like, okay, listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
come on to this overnight ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just
Mm-hmm.
come on to this overnight ceremony. Because, first of all, if a person didn't go on 2 days, they wouldn't know what they missed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this and I asked that in Atlanta too. Like that first night was off the chain in Atlanta.
Oh man.
Right? Off the chain. And
Mm-hmm.
that could have been good enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then the second night came a night that they didn't know about, right?
Mm.
So it's just different, right? Let's talk about this this first retreat because she was like, I'm not waiting for Atlanta. We were coming in Atlanta in October. In October, we were going to Atlanta in October, and she was like,
This was
"No."
August. Yeah, it was
This
August,
was
and I was
she
going
was like,
through it
"I'm
in
not waiting."
August.
She was like, "I'm not waiting. Like, I'm coming." And so her and Amanda came from Atlanta to Ann Arbor, to Michigan. And so, can you talk about how you felt when you walked in, the ambiance, maybe how nervous you was? Talk about the intentions. Talk about all that because we're gonna talk about your damn scroll and your notebook full of intentions. We're gonna talk about all that.
Look, so first of all, before I came, I was like, okay, she said I can't have three. I can only have one. I'm gonna fit all three of my intentions on this one paper because all 3 days of what I really want, all for this. But anyway, so the whole time I was on the way there, I was very, I was very aggravated, and I wasn't aggravated because of what I was going to come into, but I was aggravated because of what I left behind. And what I left
Okay.
behind was all the thoughts in my mind of it was a negative experience before I left my house. So I'm like, oh, I'm a prove all the negative things wrong. So that was my
Mm-hmm.
initial thing, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I got there, oh, hold on, let me go back because I have to talk about my whole time of detoxing.
Oh,
my,
okay,
de-
okay. Let's
There
talk
you
about the
go.
detox.
There you
Yes.
go.
my
And
detox.
because okay, before you talk about the detox, right?
Mhm.
So when you make up a decision that you are ready to change your
Mm,
life
mm,
and you're
mm.
ready to change your life instantly, then it's some stuff that comes along with that, right? So now you have to prepare yourself,
mm,
right? So we make sure that we have people do a detox to make sure that they prepare their mind and their bodies to be able to take on the medicine,
mm-hmm.
excuse me, so they'll get the best benefits that they'll get for them. But you have to prep for that,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about the detox.
Detox. So for the detox, I called Princella and I called Miss Amanda I was like, look, if she just wanted to tell me I couldn't eat, she just needed to tell me that. But now I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I can eat. That's making me more aggravated than finding out I can't eat. I said if we were just going on a fast, she just needed to say that. She just tell me I'm going on a fast. Cause now I'm like, I don't even know what processed food because I never looked at stuff like that. I know I didn't eat pork, but I never looked at what processed foods are and things that have sugar and the type of salt I'm supposed to eat. So I'm
Wow.
like, look, I'm like, I'd rather just not eat nothing and just be thing. But every day, everybody, like I call my brother is vegan in some type of way. So he was telling me cook this and cook that. I was like, look, I'm mad. Y'all keep saying that my body's supposed to feel better, and I'm just mad. This is just making me more mad, and this is making me more angry. And I don't
Mm,
know what's going on. I
mm.
just need to hurry up and get through this because I'm just upset at everybody.
Oh, I'm so glad you
I
being
was like,
transparent.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
mad at everybody. I don't want nobody to say nothing to me. Like, don't even talk to me. Like, I'm just mad.
Wow.
And
Now,
the reason I'm saying that is because when I get to
yeah,
after, that's why I want to talk about that. But I
yeah.
was mad. So going through when we got to the airport and everything, I'm just like, I don't want to. If I don't eat no more grapes, I'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine. I don't want no more grapes because I guess after detoxing for that time frame, the grapes was just sweet, and I'm a green grape eater. So
Hmm.
the purple grapes, I was like, look, it's too
Hmm.
sweet. I don't like it. I just don't want to eat it. And then
Kicking and
I just
screaming.
kept eating it. Yes, kicking and screaming, but I'm doing it. I'm eating the grapes. I'm eating the grapes. I bought so much grapes. I gave
Look,
Miss
wait,
Amanda
look,
some
look,
grapes.
look, Crystal, look.
I see. I gave Miss Amanda some grapes. I gave Tonka some grapes. He wasn't even going on it yet. I'm giving everybody grapes, and I'm just like, I have so much grapes. I'm eating grapes, 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 drinking water, eating the grapes. So, anyways, I get there, and when I get in the room, automatically I start feeling better. I'm like, okay, I'm still hungry, but I started
Hmm.
feeling better. I started feeling better. I'm like, okay. And I'm trust is something like that's super important to me. So when I got there, I'm on high because I'm just like, okay, I don't trust these people. I don't know who these people are. I don't know
Hmm.
nobody. And trust is really big to me. So I'm like, I'm not gonna open up to nobody. Let me get my little book and write my little stuff. But my trust
Mm.
opened up so much because it just felt so comfortable. It felt the ambiance itself was amazing. You feel the love, you feel like you can trust. You feel it's almost like to say how you when somebody says you could just fall back and somebody you could fall back and you can let somebody catch you. I felt like that. So I was like,
Wow.
okay. Cause you guys, you made it real comfortable. You made it real nice and real comfortable, and everybody was so sweet and everybody was so kind, and everybody knew everybody was there for some reason. So it wasn't like somebody looking at you like, "What you here for? What you here for?"
Right.
Everybody was like, "I'm
Yeah.
here for my own stuff.
That's right.
I'm going, I'm going through my own stuff, girl. You do you. You have all your stuff. I'm gonna have all my stuff." So it
That's
felt
how you gotta
comfortable.
do
So
it.
Yeah. That's
it felt
real.
comfortable. It felt real comfortable. So it was like, it was real calming. It was real nice.
No,
So I
that's what's
appreciate
up
that part.
because you know what? I'm gonna be honest and say this because um I'm not gonna say we didn't really think all of that through, right? Because holding the space, we have to think as much as we possibly can right through.
Yeah, because that's one of the most important things. It's the three most important things before you go on any kind of spiritual journey. Is your setting and your dosage. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
three most important things. They're equally important. And the set is your mindset, right? And we
Right.
make sure we're working on your mindset because that's the thing that has to change in order for you to be different, right? And then it's setting, which is your surroundings. We work on it to make sure that the setting and the surroundings are the right way because it's important for people to feel safe all night,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we want to make sure that we make sure that people feel safe. And then the third is the dosage. And we spoke about that earlier. Everybody don't get the same dosage. I go on the medicine and the medicine gives me people's dosage. And they get their dosage. The medicine don't lie. The medicine has never lied.
Hmm.
And we give it to them the way we're supposed to give it to them, and they go on their journeys, and they're able to get their intentions met. Plus,
Let me say this though too. I have to put this out here. All right, I have to put it. I have to, and y'all gonna know exactly why I'm saying I have to. I have to. I have to, because I address these things. I already know sometimes people be like, yeah, they went up in there and they said they made the people feel good, right?
who made the
Like,
people feel
I'm
good? Who
just
said it?
saying, listen,
Oh,
follow me. I need you to follow me. It's like, yeah. So what they said they went up in there. What was the first thing you said we did? We did what?
who, me?
Yeah, you said when people come in, the first thing that we do what? You
Oh,
said what?
we want to make sure that they feel safe.
Right. We want to make sure that they feel safe. Okay, well then how do we do that? Guess what? Guess what we did? Guess what goes
Let
on?
me.
We praying before the people even show up in the space.
We cleanse the space,
We're cleansing the space and
setting the atmosphere.
setting the atmosphere for everyone that comes in that space to be spiritually protected from anything that is evil and negative.
We're using lights, we're using colors because lights and colors are also healing modalities,
Yes,
right?
energies and frequencies.
And so we're setting the space and we're setting the atmosphere, and that's what she witnessed when she came in. Even though she said she was still hungry. You know what I'm saying? She ain't the only
Right.
one to say that.
That true, true, true.
And but I can guarantee though, when people are on their journey, they forget all about them being hungry. That'll be the last thing on your mind
Oh man.
while you on your journey. You be like, food, what's that?
What is that? You're
I'm
not
here to
thinking
work
about
on
food.
me. You ain't thinking about no damn food. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even though
Yeah.
we talked about some stuff on your journey, we talked about some of the food that you was consuming, and we're gonna get to that. But let's fast forward to right during ceremony. I go over people's intentions. I go over intentions a few times because intentions are very important. I tell people don't come in ceremony with no kind of expectations. Period. Anytime you be expecting stuff, you gonna get disappointed,
Hmm.
right? But when you have intention and you move with intention, you move throughout life without intention. That's how things show up, right? And so she had her notepad, and I'm like, you got all them intentions. You don't know what you about to do to yourself, and you don't know what you about to do to me. And I said, you about to be getting hit with a 24 piece up in here. You ain't gonna know what's coming from what. You gonna get from one thing, and when you get from one thing, you gonna have to go to another one.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And she was sitting in before ceremony, still writing down intention. She wasn't even done.
Yeah, she
I
had
had
her
a
little.
whole page and a half
Yeah.
already before I even got there, and then I sat down and wrote some more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's start where we talk about the first journey. Let's talk about the first journey.
Mhm.
Uh, you're laying down and you're meditating and you're going inside of yourself, and then the medicine kicks in.
Oh no, I didn't even get to do that.
You
I
said
did
you
not
didn't
even
what?
get to. I didn't even get to do that. I drank the medicine, and then I remember as soon as that happened, you were like, "Okay, we're gonna set our intentions," and then we set our intentions. I listed everything that I wanted, and I tried to make the list short, but it still was long. And you said, "Okay." You said, "Okay, everybody lay back," or you said, kind of do what you want to do, but you can lay back. Soon as I lay back, soon as my head went down, there was no meditation involved, no nothing. Soon as I put my head back, I felt everything. I was like, "Wait a
The
minute."
medicine kicked in on you that quick?
Yes, it sure did.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes, I didn't get no
Yeah.
time to sit back and relax for a second. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, let me
I
say
think
this,
Yeah.
right? The medicine, it normally takes about 30 to 45 minutes for the medicine to kick in. The medicine normally kicks in on the person the soonest they got to do the most work.
Exactly.
That's what
yeah.
we witnessed in ceremony. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
So
saying?
if
And
you
so,
said you laying
dang.
back, and
Soon as I
the
laid
medicine.
back and I was like, hold on. Hold on. So everything kicked in.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, okay,
Wow, you might be one of the fastest
yeah,
ones
yeah,
that
yeah.
I know
I
of.
think
And see, that's my first time even in hearing that.
I think what it was
But
is
go
that
ahead and tell me
because
what
we
happened when
set
it
the
kicked in.
yeah, I think it was the intention setting maybe just took a little bit longer because I was talking a little bit longer. But I think all that
Oh,
time frame was hit it was making it all at the same time. But as soon as I put my head back, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And it just felt my first initial feeling was I literally felt like I was on a rainbow. And when I say on a rainbow, it was more like I felt like I was going from Earth, going on a rainbow, and I was going higher and higher into space. So I was seeing I was seeing the colors, and then soon as I saw the colors, then I arrived at my I guess I would say arrived at my first intention. And my first intention was trying to figure out why I was so angry. And I was like, I'm just too angry. It doesn't make no sense why somebody should be angry for breakfast. So
Hmm.
my
Wow.
first intention was the anger part. So with the anger part, I started seeing my mom. I started seeing stuff that I had suppressed, I should say.
Hmm.
So I didn't think that my anger had stemmed from my mom or things around my mom, but it did, and I didn't realize that. So it was stuff that I had suppressed, and because I had suppressed it, I just moved through life not thinking about it, but it was the root cause of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I went through that, and that one, whew, I was like, that's what happened. So,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
then I released from that one. After I released from that one, no lie, I was like, okay, I released that one. Soon as I went to sit back down from being released from that one, it was like, boop, another one. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even get a time to think about that. It was like into the next one. And when she said I was being dragged, I was being drugged the whole night because I was just going from one thing to the next thing, one thing to the next thing, one to the next
Yeah.
thing. So, I
Let me
mean,
say this because also people that probably of course they don't know, they've
excuse me.
never been in the ceremony and they've never really heard like any of these interviews. Well, my wife is on the medicine and the participants, right, the retreat goers are on the medicine, but my son and I are not on the medicine. And so we have a different perspective of how each ceremony goes for each group, right? Because everybody's different and you have all these different personalities, all these different experiences tied to different traumatic situations and how they have dealt with them. And so for Crystal, there was a few moments that kind of stand out in my mind. I just thought, wow, this is pretty peculiar and it's deep at the same time. And so I can remember at one point of her going through her journey and either her eyes were closed
they
and
were.
they were her eyes, her eyelids were closed, but her eyes were moving so fast at some point it was almost like they started moving separately and it was like you could kind of tell that they were looking upward, like diagonally, like towards the middle of her head. I could just kind of see like her eyes kind of like rolling and moving. And I know that sounds like,
And
see,
we
that sounds like
all
something out of a horror
and
movie,
see he saw
but
he saw that,
yeah.
and I saw that, right? And my assistant at the time saw that. And my assistant was looking and was like, what is she doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked and I said, oh, because Zeno saw her eyes.
Right.
Because I'm in the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to see her eyes move and I'm able to see what the hell she looking at.
Right. Which I couldn't see.
He
Only thing
couldn't
I
see
could see
it.
is her. I could tell she was like really trying to concentrate by her facial expressions because she was like, her face was like looking like Like she was really concentrating on looking at something, but her eyes behind her eyelids were like they would move, and then they would go in like in a circle, and then they were like looking diagonally, like, and I was like, what's happening, you know?
At
And
that time,
go
that's
ahead.
when I saw it was a blue eye, and it was a shape of an eye, and it was blue, and then it had normal eyelashes, but it was right here. And it
Mm,
didn't look like it was on my face, but it looked like it was just literally, I could see it. If I looked up real good, I'd be able to see it. So I'm like, what is that? Why is there an eye there? That don't make no sense why there's an eye there. So then
mm,
they were
wow.
talking to me.
But wait,
Priscilla was
wait, wait,
talking to me.
Right, right,
before you say that, because
right.
what she said, it was she was looking up at. When I looked at her forehead, I saw the imprint in the middle of her forehead, and it was her third eye, her pineal gland, her
Hmm.
pituitary gland. It was her third eye, and I saw the third eye protruding
From her
from her
skin, from her
forehead,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And so I said,
Open your eyes.
she's looking at her third eye.
Hmm.
She didn't even know what that was, y'all. She was like, "Is that what that is?" She didn't even know what it was. I know y'all have heard about the third eye. You're on
Right.
here. She did not. So understand, not knowing
Hmm.
anything about a third eye or hearing anything about a third eye, she go
Right.
on a journey, and that's what she see.
Right. And
Right?
she was investigating the hell out of that.
Okay.
Like,
Now go ahead and tell your side,
What?
Crystal.
Because I'm like, what is that? That don't make no sense. That, like, I know my eyes are in my head, so why can I look up and actually see how my eye looks? And my eyes are hazel. If you don't know, my eyes are hazel, but this eye was blue. And it was like a bluish,
mm,
almost like a bluish greenish, but it was so pretty. And I was like,
mm.
where is that coming from? Why is that there? So I'm trying to figure out, like, what does that mean? So I was like, okay, if I close one eye, like in my mind, my eyes were open. But I'm like, if I close one eye, I can see it better. If let me look, because I don't know
So
what's
now, do
going
y'all
on.
see? Hold on. Now, do you see like what she was doing and kind of like those facial expressions? So that's what I was actually seeing. And so I'm looking. I'm like, what is she doing?
She
Like,
did.
what does she see? What is she doing?
And I saw her trying to figure out what she
What
was
that
looking
is.
at. She
Wow.
had no clue what she
Oh,
was looking at.
and
Yeah.
your assistant said, I just want to pop her in the middle so she could feel what I'm talking about. I'm like, is that what that is? Because I don't know what that is. But Miss Amanda was talking to me after. She was like, girl, if you could have seen your eyes. I was
She
Yes,
seen it
she's
too.
seen it too. Yeah, yeah. You
like,
know, but that
it
was
was
a
just so
revelatory
interesting
moment.
for
That's a
me.
major,
Yeah. I was
yeah,
like,
major
what
revelatory
is that?
moment.
I have never seen that in my life before. And I know that's not attached to me. That's something I should be able to see.
But I mean, ultimately, the thing is that it is attached to all of us. That's the thing. Like the reality of it is, that's what this is really all about. You know, ascending and ascension is about activating that eye because that's the more powerful eye, right? That's the spiritual eye. And so,
That's the spiritual eye.
yeah, so you had that experience of just the awakening and the revelation of, damn, I have this third eye and it's beautiful. You didn't quite know what it was there for at the time, but you were like, you definitely saw it because you were
I definitely
investigating.
saw it.
And then, so then, what did you what else do you remember? Because there's so much from your just
Yes,
first journey.
from the first one I remember so much. So there's a lot of stuff that I remember, but I didn't understand it at the time. So I knew there was one point that one of my intentions was about my kids. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, it went quiet real quick. So one of my intentions was about my kids. I knew that, going through life, I'm from the island, so we learn to discipline our kids in a certain type of way. With disciplining my kids, I knew that when I was disciplining my kids, I would feel a certain type of way when I'm disciplining them, and then when I come out of disciplining them, I would feel another certain type of way. So I was trying to figure out, why can I be so angry with them but then feel so sorry for them? It didn't make no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So in in going through the journey, I felt how my kids felt when I disciplined them. So
Mm,
if I was yelling at them, I in the journey, I felt like how they felt when I yell at them. Like they literally, I felt it. It wasn't like somebody telling me like this is how your kids feel. I felt it as if somebody was yelling at me, and I felt it as if how they felt like, "Mom, I know you're upset, but I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know." Like I felt like a little child at that point. So I felt like they were
wow.
just like, Mom, I know you're
Confused.
mad, but I don't know. Yeah, confused. I don't know what you want me to do. It hurts my heart that you're hurt, but I don't know how to fix it. I felt their pain.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, oh, like, I guess when you get older, you start to forget how you felt when somebody was doing the same thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't in touch with how they were feeling. I was more in touch of how I'm handling the situation because I'm the adult. I'm going through life. I got so much things going through me and going on inside of me that I'm not dealing with, but I'm not thinking about how they're feeling. I'm just, you not doing this right. Why you not doing this right? Why you not doing this? And there,
Mm-hmm.
that I realized in my mind at that point that I have so much expectations of them that I know
Mm-hmm.
now that they don't understand that. Like, Mom, I'm 5, I'm 7. I don't understand what you want of me. Like,
Right.
I,
Right.
I don't
Right.
have the common sense that you think I'm supposed to have at this
Wow.
age.
Yes, at
But
5 or 7,
yeah,
man.
you get less in tune to that, and that journey helped me understand tools to now be able to relate to how they feel and not be so, okay, Chris, you need to learn a different way to talk to them. Don't be yelling
Man.
at them. Don't be screaming at them. Don't put them in a to go stand up somewhere because then they feel lonely. So it's just different type of things that I learned, okay, that's not working, even though I thought that was working, even though that's what I was trained to think was working because it was done to me.
Right.
And I
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, look how I turned out, but in reality, really, how did you turn out? So
Mm.
that's what I started to think about, like, wow, it was such an experience for me because it wasn't somebody just telling me, hey, your kids feel this type of way. It was me actually feeling it as if I was them, like I was the child, like somebody was yelling at me, somebody was pointing the finger at me, somebody was disappointed in me. I felt how they felt.
This was happening, excuse me,
Yeah.
this was happening
Mm-hmm.
while you were upstairs.
No, this was when I was downstairs though.
What was going on when you were upstairs?
When I was upstairs, I was thinking about my mom, the my mom being, it was the anger part. It was the anger part. It was it was so it was so many different times I was upstairs. I'm trying to figure out which one, but
No,
um
I'm asking because at one point of the night, when you had to go, when you had to use the restroom, because you had got a private room, private bath. And so the main bathroom that someone was using that bathroom, so you went to your room to use your bathroom. And so you had been
Pardon me.
up there for a second, and at that time I had went back to meditate, and when I went back to meditate, I didn't know you were upstairs. And I put my closed my eyes and I put my head back, and when I closed my eyes and I put my head back, I saw nothing but red.
that was
And when
the
I saw
anger.
red, right, exactly. And when I saw the red, I popped out of it immediately. And I asked Zeno, I said, "Who's upstairs?" And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Crystal is upstairs."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Oh, woo." I said, "That's anger up there." I said, "Tell her to come down here." And that's when you came downstairs. Do you remember what happened after that?
I came downstairs, but upstairs I was dealing with anger. So I was dealing with why I'm so angry and why I feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I was just more dealing with my just being angry. I was like, "Oh, that's why I'm angry." But it was I was angry, but I was feeling sorry for me being angry. And I was feeling sorry that I kept putting up a facade, and I was feeling sorry. It was me realizing how angry I was and why I was angry. I guess I don't know how to really explain that well, but
Mhm. Well, what it is when you go on a journey and you ready to change and you want to switch up and shift, in order for you to release trauma, you have to go to the root of that thing,
Mm-hmm.
to the beginning of it when it happened, and that's what this medicine is able to help you do, right? And what you were getting ready to say something, man?
Well, no, that's actually what I was going to highlight because I want people to really think about what she's saying. Like, I don't know where else you're going to get that type of experience where you have a realization where in some aspect of your life you actually experience what you're doing to others, and you feel that emotionally yourself personally on a excuse me, on a personal level, to where now you come to the understanding of whatever it is that you're inflicting, it has to be changed, right? Again, I never want to come off as if I'm banging on a church and like, you know um I hate the church, but I hate religion. Religion. And unfortunately, there's a lot of religion being taught out of these churches. And instead of taking somebody in a separate room, laying hands on them and asking them to say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus a million times until hopefully they speak into this other tongue, God has created a way and a method for people to go inside of their kingdoms to now conversate and communicate and deal with the real issues in your life. It's prioritized. She said, as soon as I laid down, boom, it was like, okay, you came here to go to work. It was no games.
and it was
It was
about me.
you laid down, right? It was on and popping, like, okay, let's get to it.
Yeah,
And it was the first issue, and then it was the next issue, and it was the next issue. That sounds like a God thing to me. Like God just like, oh, okay, yep, Crystal showed up at this appointed spot,
You
this
want to know?
destination.
God was like, you want to know what's uh what's stopping you?
Right.
You want to know what's blocking you?
Yeah, I got all the
You want to
answers.
know? Boom.
I got all the
Here you
answers.
go.
Yeah. And so let me prioritize it. This is what's tearing you up the most. So let's deal with that first. So this is what happened. This is where this came from. This is why you be acting the way you be acting. This is why you so damn angry. So this is how you need to fix it. Okay, boom. Now you see yourself, talking to your children and all of this, and now it's like, yep, God, like, okay, so see, I'm not just gonna let you see how you talking to your children, because you know how you
talk.
talk to
Yeah.
your children, because you see that through your eyes when you talking to them. But now I need to show you through their eyes what they see when you talking to
What they
them,
feel.
and what they feel when you talking to them. If that's not life changing, I don't even know what is. And so
Very
you
life
can't help but
changing.
walk away. What did you say?
Very life changing because you don't know what effect that you're doing on. You were taught a certain way, and if nobody ever tells you that that's wrong, or nobody ever lets you feel what you're doing is wrong, then you just keep doing the same thing and not realizing how many generations you're affecting. Because I'm pretty sure
Mm,
when my mom talked to me like that, it wasn't, she didn't think that she was affecting my generation or my kids'
right.
generation, but guess what? I passed it down.
Mm. Well, what you did was you broke it. You
I
were
did.
inflicting some sort of pain, but I can guarantee now, it's a different feeling at home when it comes to her and her children. Because if you love your child or your children, to actually feel their pain, their hurt or their confusion, their level of frustration, and you actually feel that in your being, That's a, you know what? That's an anchor. That's a spiritual anchor that God put in you to hold you, to tether you to that, to keep you from ever, right, reacting in that way with your children again if you can help it.
Victoria said, "Thank God while they were young and the correction has been made." And you know what? Yes, that's wonderful, right? But where it starts is where it starts too, Victoria, because I was talking to Janetta today, and Janetta's son, he's older, teenager. She was talking about a 6 foot, what, 3 or
Yeah,
six
he a
foot, over
big
six
guy.
feet,
He a big guy.
and just some of the things that the way that she deal with him is differently, and he's receiving her completely differently, and he's taking it in now. She cutting off the generational curses that she's given, you know what I mean, that she had started passing down to him. He's seeing it, and now he's starting to shift and change his life and move differently as a teenager also,
Wow, already. So the check. See, this is what I'm
because he see the
saying.
change. He noticing, dang, ma, you meditating longer. You know what I'm saying? He's saying little stuff. He's letting her know that
I'm
he's
watching
watching.
you. I'm watching you, mama. And these type of things, whether we realize it or not, this is actually what we're seeking while we going through the hell that we going through, and then we see our lives on the other side. We get a flash and a vision of what our lives are really supposed to look like. We have no idea, how to get to that. And the way that they told us to get to it ain't working. Right? So the way they told us to get to it ain't working. Nobody's figured out a way to even halfway get results, because you don't know if you go right to get some type of counsel or whatever else. God forbid, right? You go to somebody that's supposed to be pastoring and ministering or whatever. You don't really know what their motives are. So you coming to lay your heart down and let people, you opening the curtain, to your sacred space, which is your family and everything else, your personal business. And hey, is that a wolf in sheep's clothing you talking to? You don't know. But in this instance where it's you and your creator, this is a
Yeah.
one-on-one thing. And
And a
now,
lot of
go ahead. Yep.
Okay. I was saying a lot of things that I was going through, I kept saying like it was a cause and effect for me. It was they were doing that to me, so I'm doing this. They were doing that to me and I was doing this. That journey showed me, no, what you doing is letting that affect how you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it basically gets you looking at you instead of looking at all the things that are happening to me, and it gets you to saying, no, you need to create what you want to see versus letting stuff happen to you. You need to do the work and be able to create what you want to see versus what, because things are going to happen to you in life regardless, but it's how you create what you're going to create by saying what you need to say that's right, doing what you need to do that's right. It teaches you a different way. Stop looking at what people doing and looking what you need to do, and it's looking at you. So I thought that because this happened, that's the way I acted this way, but it was no, look at you for real.
And that's profound, because that's the thing that people have the biggest issue with.
Looking at they self.
Sitting down and just meditate. First of all, just sitting down and being quiet, even before they get to the meditative state. Just sitting down in silence is the hardest task in the world for most people, because their minds are running a million miles a minute.
And people be walking around in ego.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Thinking like they excuse me, they know it all and they have it all,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They may be great financially,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
mentally they all jacked up,
Oh yeah.
and they still not happy. Some people be like, "Look, give me some money, and I worry about the mental stuff later." You know what I mean? Because guess what? I used to be like that. I used to say that, look, give me the money or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you something. When you're not free in your mind, you're not free. I don't care how much money you have. Like, to be able to
Yeah.
to witness it, right? And to be
Pardon
able
me.
to have some money in my pocket,
Hmm.
right? and still be like, hold up,
Toe up.
something ain't right.
Yeah, toe up.
You know, these relationships ain't the way it's supposed to be. This ain't what it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be further. What is stopping me? Why is it that I'm procrastinating? Why is it that it feel like this? Why is it this? Why? Right? And so when you decide to go inside yourself and heal, and you decide to do the work, then you tap into the why. But you have to be willing to face it. You got to be willing to face yourself. Why wouldn't you want to face yourself when ain't nobody stopping you from getting where you supposed to be but you? Why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah. Real quick, Janetta said, "Look, I told him talking about her son. I told him use myself and his siblings as an example of what not to. Right? I was in a very dark place raising my older children, but with Joshua, I realized through this journey how to raise him and break these generational curses.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what we hearing from Crystal. If y'all noticing like how she's actually talking, like she's like, no, her whole perspective of things has changed. It's like if your mind can change, that's what the Bible talks about, right?
Generational
It's
curses.
about becoming a new creature. The only
Yeah.
way that you're gonna become a new creature is it starts here in your mind first. So that means you got to change your perspective and how you see things, because then that changes your reaction, that changes your behavioral pattern, and that's how you get this constant action and physical response and flow in this physical realm to see the change that you desired in your heart. If it doesn't happen here first, it's never gonna happen.
And the medicine helps quantum leap your ass there. Because guess what? You could say, I'm going to go do yoga. I'm going to do meditation. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to do all that. All those things are great. They're great healing modalities. They can prepare you. They can do all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take you a lot longer to get there. Who got time to waste? Who got time to waste? Right? So quantum leap, the medicine helps you quantum leap because it makes new neural pathways in your brain,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's an instant change. It's an instant raise of vibration. It's an instant change for the better. But people have to um, know that when they make the decision, that they need to also make another decision to do the work during, before,
Mm-hmm.
and after,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a journey. People be so attached to the destination.
Mm.
They see themselves somewhere and they just see themselves over there, whatever, and they trying to figure out how they gonna get over there, trying to figure the shit out. When really that's not even how it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Your destination is going to be there. Be concerned about the journey. Be tapped into the journey. Enjoy the journey. Wake up happy,
Right. Right.
right? Knowing that you supposed to be over there. You see yourself over there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't be attached to how it's going to come, because when you do, you putting God in the box.
Mm.
And when it ain't coming how you think it's going to come, that's when you're going to get an attitude. That's when your vibration gonna drop. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Who got time for that?
Right.
Be willing to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to do what it takes
Mm-hmm.
to continue to vibrate higher. Period.
Now,
Period.
go ahead. You want to finish? Go ahead.
Well, I did want to say something, but I don't want to go too far off on that because I want to come back to the story like after the journey the next day. Is something that you want to say?
Oh well, no, yeah, and this may lead us somewhere else, but I feel like I need to just put at least part of this out there, right? And then if we address like the other journey that she went on, my thing is this, like I understand that when people, even before they even get into this, right? When they find out about what this really is, and it's like, oh, okay, I can go on a journey, and the journey is supposed to help me with some things. In their minds, ultimately, it's like this is what they think, right? Like, I'm gonna go on a journey. I got a list of some intentions, like some changes that need to be made in my life. They already told me that that's going to get met plus more. So now, when I go on this journey, I'm gonna do this the first time, and that's all I'm good after that. Like I should come out of there, and I'm good. Here's the thing: some people go on a journey, and they have these intentions. Let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. When people are applying for important things and they have to give personal information, and and there's got to be some digging in your background, most people will give just enough. They're gonna give the general information because they like, I don't know, like I got some stuff that I may not want to tell you about. So I'm gonna give you whatever it is that I feel like I need to give you so I can get what I need to get without you getting all up in my business, right? And so they approach the journey like, I got these things here because I feel like this is important to me because I know this is what I'm dealing with. And depending on who that person is, there's some other deep layered stuff that they know about that they not really coming out and even sharing. They not gonna tell you flat out. And then on top of that, there are some things that they don't know about on a subconscious level because the trauma was so deep, it was so traumatic that their brains just put it away in the subconscious, so they didn't forgot about the trauma. And now they end up going on one journey, the first one, and whatever they had on their list to just divulge that information and be like, okay, yeah, this is what I told them, this is what I need to have dealt with. This is gonna be dealt with, and it gets dealt with. But then, like I said, this is a God thing, because God's intent for people to be healed is to be healed wholly, all the way through and through, not partially whole. So you got to keep coming back. So what happens is that, oh, okay, now God is like, let me go into this thing that you didn't really share, that that's inside of you. I'm gonna bring it up during this journey, and now I'm gonna give you part of the answer to that. I'm gonna give you some clues to that part, right? As to why this happened, what went down with this, why you feel the way you feel about it. Actually, you're able to see how the other person that's involved in whatever was traumatic may have felt about it. And then that third aspect of the journey is when that medicine, that God medicine, be like, okay, now I think you're ready. Let's go in even deeper and let me show you some stuff that you forgot about. Oh man.
Well, I could say that definitely happened to me. I saw there was a certain point that I saw. It was like three dimensions of how I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can, but it was like three
Mm-hmm.
Please, please.
dimensions. And so okay, so subconsciously I knew my mom passed away when I was 23 years old. She passed away from cancer. She smoked cigarettes for her whole life for 45 years. I never had a conversation with her while she smoked or anything, but I used to be so angry with her for smoking. So when
Mm.
she passed away from cancer, that made me more upset because now I'm like, you left me. But I
Mm-hmm.
kind of forgave her for that. In my mind, I forgave her for that because I saw what she was going through when she was passing. So I saw the cancer part of her taking over her. So I felt sorry for her, so I forgave her in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I subconsciously threw that anger away about her and her
Mm.
leaving me at 23. I threw it away in my mind, like it was still there, but it was I was taught to, oh, you guys just got to move on with life, so just continue on with life. So when I say that, when I went through the journey, that came back out for me because I had hid that so deep inside of me. It came back out for me. with me being angry about her leaving me, it created a fear in me for me leaving my kids. With it creating a
Mm.
fear in me for me leaving my kids, I was hard on my kids because I was trying to make sure that if I passed away early, that they were able to go keep going on in life, because that's what I was taught. You're gonna have to keep going on in life. I didn't want them to have to be thrown out of their mind and not know what to do. Oh my gosh, my mama's gone. I'm just gonna sit here and lay prostrate on the floor and just die with her.
Right.
So
Right.
I wanted them to know how to deal with life in a way that they weren't going to fail. They were going to succeed even though their mom wasn't here, because she was a strong black woman, so she taught me how to succeed even if she wasn't here. Now,
Mm-hmm.
granted, I wasn't ready for her to leave because I'm 23. I'm just coming out of I'm just learning life myself. So I'm mad with her because of that, but at the same time, I took the good parts of it that I knew how to survive without her regardless. And so I'm being hard on my kids and trying to make sure that they know this and they have the understanding of everything that they supposed to do to continue going on in life. And again, they 5 and 7, like, Ma, how you gonna prepare me for you to die when how you prepare me to die? You to die? You're
I'm
not even
five.
going nowhere. Like, where you going, ma? Where you? What you talking about? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
being
Right.
hard on them to teach them the type of ways so they were able. Like, I was preparing. Basically, I was preparing them for my death, and so the first dimension of it was why I was traumatized. My second dimension of it was why I was traumatizing them. My
Mm-hmm.
third dimension
Mm.
of it was there was a point in the journey where I saw bones, and the bones, it was like I was looking over my body into my body and I could just see the bones. And the bones, if you ever seen somebody with cancer on them, you can see how their x-ray shows, like you could see like dirt on their body. So when I was looking over my skeleton of my body, I can see dirt on it. And the best way to explain that is, with me being so angry, I was killing myself. By me
Hmm.
being on this journey, every time I healed from something, I saw just a little bit of dirt going off, and just a little bit of dirt going off, and just a little bit of dirt going off. And then it was finally that it wasn't all the way clear, but it was enough for me to actually see that that was my skeleton that I was looking at this whole time. And so
Mm.
at the same time, in my mind, that was generational curses being broken off of me, because being angry causes stress. Being stressful causes you to deteriorate, to die, to,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to really explain what I'm trying to say, but
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
know
you're
y'all
explaining
understand
it
some type of
very
way. Yeah.
perfectly. No, you're doing an
So
You're doing
excellent
good, and
job.
then I'll
I
explain to
felt,
people what it is.
yeah,
Yes.
I felt like a little broom was coming like cleaning off my bones and letting me know your bone is clear now. Your bones is clear now.
That was your, because different people deal with it differently. That was your version of releasing the weights, right? Releasing the trauma and healing your trauma,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people go about it differently, right? Because when we deal with trauma, the trauma is set up in our bodies, right? It's trapped in our bodies. And so when it's trapped in our bodies and we don't release it, and it's just trauma on top of trauma, and we're not healing, it turns into dis-ease, which is disease,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so while when you going in, you going in the spiritual realm, and you working, and you going in, and you're healing, right? And you hitting those intentions, and you get released from one, and you get and released from the other one. That's what was happening. That's what you were seeing, right? You were seeing the dis-ease. You were seeing the generational curses. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you were seeing the weights being removed.
Yo, again, let me just say this. Like, unless I'm saying this to all of my folks that are Christian.
And they say you explain it so well. You're doing
Yes.
so well.
Yes. Um, to all of my people that are underneath a religious umbrella. Um, y'all let me know. Like, unless you're like slain underneath the spirit, for real, not for play. But like, if you really have a real encounter, a spiritual encounter in that church or in that synagogue or in that mosque or wherever you are, and you laid out underneath the anointing, heavy anointing, where you laid out to even remotely go into a visionary state like that, where you can see some things, you know what that would be considered as in those buildings? A miracle. You received a miracle if you walk up out of there remotely halfway seeing what she's explaining. What we're saying to everyone is that God is so powerful that the confines of a structured organization cannot hold the Spirit of God, cannot hold the fullness and the whole full power of God, because God is in everything. So God put power, right, his spirit in these plants, in these different natural medicines, to take you to a place that 9 times out of 10 most people have never been to.
No, it takes so much work to be able to get to this state and get to this place that this plant medicine is taking you instantly. It takes so many years. It takes so much work. We were just speaking to someone
Yes.
that was at a past retreat in Portland,
Portland, Oregon.
and she was talking about how she has been doing the work, meditation practice, yoga practice. I don't know if you guys have heard of Joe Dispenza. She's been to Joe Dispenza's retreats and his conferences, and then
Right.
she's gotten this book, and she's did this, and she
She's
did that,
enrolled
right?
in all of these courses.
And she felt like she was excelling until she came to a retreat. And when she went on a journey, she said never in her life, with everything that she's ever done, she's ever been to, has she ever connected with herself like that. And that's the first time that when she knew what she was supposed to be doing, she knew what her passion was.
Yep.
Like she knew, she saw what was blocking her.
And can I add this? She said it was done with ease, is what she said. She was
Yeah.
like, I didn't have to work like for that. Like, all of these other things I had to study, and you could go through all of these different, jump through all these different hoops and all of that, and I had to listen to all this information. No, one sacred ceremony on the plant medicine allow her to connect with herself in a way to where she was like, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And as a child, I've been led. I always knew that I was drawn to health and right, having just a good conscious state of mind. Like, as a child, I know this is really what I'm supposed to be doing. Even though she has a whole nother field and she's excellent in what she does, she is an extreme professional, right, on an elite level in regards to what she does. But she's actually called to this life, living health, right, healthy, and having a higher vibration and living in a higher state of consciousness. She knew that as a child, and so she connected with that. And she said she was at peace when she came through this whole experience, going through the journey. I mean, you know, again, the only reason why I keep hitting on this is because we're in the month of November. We're in the month of November right now. Everybody gonna be talking about some happy Thanksgiving. They gonna kick their feet up in their lazy boys. They probably gonna watch some football, have family members over.
I can't wait to eat that Thanksgiving food. I'm gonna
Right.
tell y'all right now.
You see, but this is also a time and a season that we're being led in, that it is the most uh depressing, most down, most low vibrational season of the whole year, because it brings now memories of those that we've lost, right? You trying to celebrate and give gifts and all of this stuff, and you think about folks that's gone. Like, This thing is for real. And who wants to continue to get on that roller coaster? We're saying, listen, we got Crystal on here now because it's not just for us to say it. This is the opportunity where people can hear other folks' testimonies, their experiences, saying, "This is what I experienced. This is the way that I was beforehand. This is the way that I was looking at things beforehand. This is what happened to me as I was going through it." And we're gonna get to afterwards and how she's doing right after all of this. But if y'all been here now just so far, even if you ain't catch nothing else and you just caught the last thing that she did, we just discussed, wouldn't you really want to experience that before going into the new year? I'm not trying to be funny. Forget a New Year's resolution that you've been trying to be consistent with for 10, 15 years. You say, I'm okay, I'm a get a gym membership. We already know that's one of the moves, right? What you gonna do? Get a new stylist and get some new clothes so you can layer the outside, your outside appearance.
Yeah, they new clothes gonna come from Christmas shopping.
This what I'm saying. So you gonna get you some
Oh
fresh
yeah.
gear, get your teeth done, and all of that stuff, and that's cool. Like you need to have, like you need to represent yourself the best way that you can, your outward appearance. But like Crystal said, you gonna be holding on to stuff and being one way on the inside just to open your door to your home or your dwelling space, and when you leave up out of there you got to throw a mask on because on the inside you're fed up and you tired and you don't really know what to do to fix it. If you under the sound of our voices, then you already know, you should know that you're here because you you planned yourself to be here. Somebody that you was connected to you was trying to get you what you was calling out to. If you hearing this kind of conversation, because this conversation is the thing that's bringing change. So I really have to say that. So there is information that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, and that information is I'm gonna let it roll one more time. If you interested, I'm just having a quick little minute. Cause I feel that me personally, I feel led to say this to people. Listen, if you don't know what to do, and before you get ready to go into debt, spending all the money that you don't even have, right, to buy these gifts, possibly to people that most of them probably ain't even gonna pay attention to whatever it is that you bought them too long anyway. They might wear it one time, they might use it a few times. That thing might be in the closet. You might gift yourself something and it's gonna be sitting somewhere on the shelf because what? It costs so much money that you couldn't buy 18 million gifts, so you can't be wearing your purse, the same purse all day every day, or the same outfit all day every day. So it's gonna be hanging on a hanger. Like, and for what? You might as well start doing things to help yourself internally, to change the trajectory of your life on a spiritual level. That's the most important part.
What people have to realize and what they're not realizing, just like Zeno said, when the holiday come around and people be thinking about the people that's gone and the people that's not here, that is so true, right? We witnessed it with his
My
grandmother.
grandmother.
His grandmother every year, she never got rid of the grief of her daughter passing away.
My mother.
Her daughter passed away at 24, right? She was 24 years old. Crystal's mother was what, 23?
No, I was 23.
She was
You was
23.
23. How old was
Yes.
your mother?
60, 61, I believe.
Okay, 61. That's too soon.
Yeah. I'm the
My
baby,
mother
so
passed away. My mother passed away in her late 50s or late 50s or something like that, or but people are busting up out of here, right? People thinking about the people that's gone, but they're not thinking that one day they gonna be gone too, right? What kind of legacy do you want to
I'm gonna put it
leave?
up here again.
What kind of legacy? What are you gonna come down here and just waste away? Basically, come down here to be on the hamster wheel your whole life, and then look for retirement, and then sit down and just waste away. Like, what are you gonna do with that? Because these fleshly bodies that we have, they
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
time
They got an
limit.
expiration date on it. Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. I don't care if you want to recognize it, if you want to face it, or whatever. We didn't want to face it, but when we was forced to face it,
Yeah, yeah,
when they told Zeno 8 years ago that he only had 3 years to live, I keep bringing it up. I'm keep bringing it up.
yeah. Because that's real. You talking about your mortality, and when you face with your mortality, oh, that's gonna snap you right into reality, and you gonna go, okay, all right, so all right,
And she was like,
what?
hold on now. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't did some things. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't completed some things.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
People be having plans,
Mm-hmm.
but they have no idea. Why wouldn't you want to connect with God? Why wouldn't you want to tap in? Or why would you just even want to wait? Even the fact that I have people that come in ceremony that basically 70 years old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting there and they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life.
Because they're in a different season in their life. They're in a different phase, right, in their life.
And they're feeling like they're getting up there and they know their time is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're fearful because they know what they've been told in church,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually face with it is when you really start to think, especially when you've been taught fear. You either going one or the other place.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start to evaluate their lives and they start to think about all the things that they never did, they should have did, their shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they got regrets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But people still come to these retreats in their 70s,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they like, you was Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but they was going through that for much longer than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Imagine
Imagine
that.
that. Imagine that. I have to say this. I have to say this. Then we can go to the next,
Yes, because we got to get to
phase.
the, yeah, we got to get to
Right.
the,
The second hookup.
yes.
But here's the thing. I want to leave this with you guys as we transition into the next, part of another experience that she had. Because guess what? She did more than one journey. That's the whole point. Like she got some answers. There were some changes that took place, some positive changes that took place, and there were still like so I guess like some questions in the air with some pieces to some puzzles that she needed to put together. So she decided, yo, I got to go back. I gotta get some more answers, right? So my whole thing is this. We are so powerful as human beings. We are so powerful. We don't realize the power that we have. What am I saying? I'm saying that at any given time, if you have the full functionality of this, your mind, then you can change it at any given time. And by making whatever type of decision that you decide to make, right? You can actually change the trajectory of your life based off of one decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful we are. If you're really unhappy with your whole life, okay, whether it's on a moral scale and somebody weighs it and says, oh, well, that's not good because you made this decision. Guess what? That's subjective because whatever is good for, somebody else ain't good for somebody else, right? But you got to sit down and you got to go, all right, here's my life. Here's what I'm happy with and here's what I'm not happy with. And then you have a power, a supernatural, super, right, human power to change your mind and make a decision and say, oh, you know what? I'm finna cut this out of my life. I'm just finna walk away from that. I'm not finna do that. I'm finna transition out of this and I'm finna leave that. I'm finna leave it.
Everything starts in the mind.
Right. And I'm gonna move towards this. So if you're tired of going to the doctor and the doctor is giving you more information of how many more bottles of prescriptions you gotta go get from the pharmacy, and you tired of going to the doctor because it seems like every time you go, they coming with some more bad news about what other type of medicine you got to get on. You tired of going to that job and regretting getting up every morning and having to carry yourself to that job that you hate. Whatever it is in your life, you can actually decide to say, I'm finna make a difference and I'm gonna change this. Now, most people would just blow their whole lives up and be like, you know what? I'm tired of this. So I'm just gonna walk off my job. Well, if you don't have anything else lined up, guess what? Now you didn't just threw yourself into the faith walking realm for real. You better use that mustard seed.
You better.
You better plant that mug quickly and start tending to that like yesterday.
Because if you do, as long as you moving with intention, it's going to show
It's
up.
gonna show up if you know how to
Period.
do that. Okay.
Period. It's going to show up long as you moving with intention.
But if you don't, but you change your mind and say, I don't like this aspect of my life. I don't like this part of what's showing up in my life. You can change that and start moving in a direction that looks like what it is that you put in your mind. If you're tired of being broke, you can make some money.
But you got to change your mind first.
But
You got to change your mindset first.
if you tired of being having aches and pains in your body,
Then you got to change your mind first.
you got to change your mind and do something different. Okay? That's what this is. And that's the power that we have, that we look to others. We look outside of ourselves when God already gave us this power.
It's inside.
It's inside of us.
And this medicine
So I had to
helps you
give y'all
go
that.
in and tap into your universe. Tap into who you are. Tap
Yes.
into your bullshit. Tap into things that's blocking you. Tap you into things that you've been holding you back, right? Excuse me, so that you can quantum leap, right? Manifestation can come quick. That's what quantum leap meaning. Manifestation is coming quickly, right? Now, after the journey, the next day, the first journey that you came to, we were sitting in integration, and I noticed that you were extremely quiet. And I knew that you were extremely quiet because you was processing.
Yes, I had a
After
whole
a
lot of
journey,
processing to do.
yes, you really had a whole bunch of processing to do, right? But anytime you go on a journey, people be like, "What the hell just happened last night?" And then your
Yeah.
There was
mind
a
is going
lot
over
of things.
everything, huh?
There's a lot of things I was thinking about. First of all, let me tell you one thing I thought about that I thought was so funny because I was thinking about it. But I was like, is this, I started to think because I had never had an experience at church where I fell out and how people they act a certain way when they fall out on the floor. I said, "Oh, this is how it was supposed to be." I was thinking like maybe this is how it's supposed to be when I fell out. I was supposed to feel all of this, and now I know why people fell out. But I'm like, no, it couldn't have been because I see people act the same way after. It couldn't have been that. And
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what this is, but this was amazing, and it was definitely life changing. I can tell you when I came into integration, I was like, F the food. I'm not even hungry. I don't even want no food after
You
I
know what I'm
was in there for
saying?
so
And you
long.
was. So that's what that was
I,
about.
yeah, I let that food sit there for a minute because I'm like, I'm not even hungry. I'm trying to figure out what all went on and try to hold on to it because I'm really like, wow,
And she came there
wow,
starving, y'all. Came there said she was
yes.
Yes.
starving. She was just mad because she couldn't eat the
Ma-
whole time.
Remember one of my things. Remember one of my things when I was talking about on my journey. I was like, I love me some cheese, some
Please,
macaroni and
yes.
cheese.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, right? So we were on the journey. I'm so glad you brought this up. This medicine, right? It helps you pull the trauma out. It helps pull toxins out of the body. It helps pull all of this stuff out of the body, right? And so she was going through with blow just tissue, blowing her nose, blowing her
because
nose,
I have
blowing her nose.
sinus
Okay, go
issues.
ahead.
I have sinus issues, so I'm thinking my sinus issues is because what I was born with in life. Who knew? That's not it. That is not it.
And she was blowing her nose and blowing her, and I was like, what's going on over here? How did it come? How did it come up? Did I bring it up or did you bring it up?
No, because I just kept blowing my nose, and I was like, and then she was like, "See, that's that." You said yeah. You said, "See, that's that dairy," and I said, "Yeah," because I love me some macaroni and cheese.
See, I knew. See, and I knew that that's what it was.
I didn't know it was dairy, but I can see now because now I don't have problems with sinuses.
Because what? You stopped with the cheese.
Stop with the cheese, the milk,
Wow,
all of
look
After
at
that.
that.
love cheese, got in ceremony, and the medicine showed her health.
Let me tell
Also,
you. Let me tell you, I did not remember this, but my uncle passed away 2001, 2002, and his nickname for me was cheese cuz I used to go inside his fridge and just eat the packs of cheese, just each one individually. I used to eat the whole pack, 16 slices by myself, just going. I used to sneak it. I used to go inside and sneak it out his his fridge. I used to go and eat that, and he called me cheese, and he called my brother sauce because my brother used to eat we call it barbecue and ketchup. So he called me cheese, and he called my brother sauce. And I remembered that. I said,
wow.
"Oh my gosh."
Now her something that she was loving on her whole life was just jacking her up.
Right.
And
And
didn't
she
know.
had no clue. She told y'all she didn't know what processed foods was. But she was doing what she was supposed to do, calling and asking,
Yes.
preparing, even though she was kicking and screaming, she still was moving with intention because she knew that this is what she was supposed to be going towards. And she wanted to do everything that she could do to not mess it up. And so she went through what she went through. The medicine showed her what the medicine showed her, right? She learned some things mentally, she learned some things spiritually, she learned some things financially. She came out different in an instant, overnight. And so let's talk about, quickly on how you felt when you got home and then you deciding to come to the Atlanta retreat, and then we'll just go right into the ceremony for Atlanta.
So let me tell you, I was trying to figure out why do people go on other retreats and why people go on other retreats. Because when I first left the retreat, I was like, "Oh, this is, I love this. I know exactly what to do." But I had realized for me, I had took everything out, or I realized everything that was bad for me. So I was taking everything that I want to out. But now, how was I going to put everything back in that was the right? So when I went to the Atlanta retreat, or why I decided to go to Atlanta retreat, I was like, okay, well, let me find out what I need to put in. Let me get my mind right, because I knew when I went to the Detroit, well, the Michigan, the Ann Arbor, Michigan one, I had
Mm-hmm.
got rid of a lot of stuff. I had released a lot of stuff, and I was good with that. I was good with that. But now I was like, okay, now you gotta relearn some stuff, or not relearn, but you gotta get new information about your stuff. You gotta renew your mind. So I was like, okay, I gotta put something in place of what I knew before, because I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
ever go back to what I didn't want to revert back to what I knew before. I wanted to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I have new information in what I'm supposed to be doing now.
Right. Okay, so let me just say this really quickly. My cousin is on here and she said that was me. Now what she's talking about when she say that was me is eating all that damn cheese. She was the same way. We had that big block of cheese, and she would be up in there cutting it, making grilled cheese. It's cheese,
Wow,
cheese,
that's
cheese, cheese, cheese. And my entire life, I hated cheese, and everybody in the house loved cheese except for me. I never liked milk, and I never liked cheese. But if you remember, Kenya, everybody in the house was either dealing with asthma, they were always constipated. You definitely was always constipated. Because I remember uh, us going to the doctor or something, and it was because of the cheese. I didn't deal with asthma. I didn't deal with allergies. I didn't deal with
Mm.
any of that, right? Now, I didn't realize
You didn't make the
why. I didn't
connection
make the
back then.
connection until I started studying food and the ingredients and I started going on this health journey. That's when I said, "Oh, so apparently my body
Mm-hmm.
was never supposed to have cheese in it
You know,
for
Isn't that something?
whatever reason, past life maybe,
Wow.
right?" But the things that people hold on to, because people be like all the time, that thing that got me not wanting to go vegan is cheese, is the dairy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so
Yes.
people go on these journeys, and now you got these new neural pathways
Mm. In your
in your
brain.
brain. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people come, well, majority of the time people
Yes.
come back and they try to eat the same stuff that they was eating, and they
They,
body be jacked up
I'm
because the
telling you.
medicine be like, no.
that
Listen, this.
that's
I no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
that's one of the things with me. Of course, I love Snickers and I love those type of things. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I told Mr. Man, I'm gonna go eat. I bought these brownies and I was eating them, and I was like, okay. I'm gonna enjoy my brownies, and it had the ingredients on one. It had the ingredients were so long that it had
Mm-hmm.
a little piece on one side, and then the rest of the ingredients were on the other side. The ingredients on one
Wow.
side, it didn't say nothing. Yeah, it didn't say nothing about dairy. So I was like, okay, I'm good. This is some nice brownies. But when I got home, before I ate them, I saw the rest of the ingredients that said chocolate this and milk chocolate this and milk this and milk. And I said, I'm still gonna eat it. I bought it already. I'm still gonna eat it. My body the next
And that
morning,
that's
my
what I'm
body the
saying. And
next
that's
morning said, girl, you lied to yourself. But I let you lie to yourself. And we gonna show you
yep.
that that's not fit to be what you think. I was
Exact. That's what I was getting
sneezing.
ready to
I was
say.
all of that. I said, you know what? You can have all that cheese, that milk, and everything, cause I was feeling so good. And then that, cause my sinuses be having me on a sneeze attack. Achoo, 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 achoo. Can't even function. Achoo, achoo. I was like, no, they can have that. I'm good.
Listen, listen. I have to say this because it's almost like there's a separate little mini chat and little vibe going on while we here, and I think it's really important to highlight. Sis Janetta, she said something I think really it's just really what it is like at the end of the day, because some people are like, yo, I'm getting ready to get my chips up so I can do this thing, right? And I mean, we ultimately know where you're coming from, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like when you hear something like this and it resonates with you, you like, man, this is what I really need. But in your mind, see, this is where we teach people.
And you got to keep it real at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, we teach people about how important it is, right, for the way that they think and what they say, because what we say as human beings, and then we add our emotions and all of our feelings to what it is that we say, then that creates a signature. It actually now creates a frequency, a
And a
vibration,
vibration.
and a signature, and is sent out into the universe.
Yep.
So if it's, man, I'm trying to get this money to get, I really want to go.
Hey,
You know what I'm
Cheryl.
saying? But shoot, I'm trying. I'm a work on that. Well, yeah, you're gonna be working. You're gonna be working on that, as opposed to you just saying, yo, I don't know how it's gonna come. But before this year is out, this y'all last one that y'all doing this year, I gotta come into 2023 on something totally different.
And we have all kinds of financial backgrounds that come, right? You have some people, when I first started doing these retreats, I didn't do payment plans.
Mm-hmm.
So people had to pay either the full amount or deposit and then the full amount a couple weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
People just paid it.
Right.
They just paid it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People come that know that they're supposed to come,
Mm-hmm.
that push their way to come to make sure that they do whatever they have to do to come because they made their mind up.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them didn't have the money to be there.
I gotta say this because I didn't
Yeah.
read it. I pulled it
No,
up.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying that some people didn't have the money to do it, right? but they said out of their mouth,
Mm-hmm.
right? They thought it. And they thought it on the vibration and frequency
They meant it.
that said, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
Right? And then they spoke it out in the atmosphere and they was, I'm going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And regardless what the opposition is, they push through. Right? And they make it happen whether they feel like they have the finances or whether they feel like they don't. And the fight, as long as you're moving with intention and you're moving with everything in you to say that I'm getting to this retreat, then that's when the funds will show up.
You know what? Can I say this real quick? Oh, I just broke right into the middle of your situation. Go ahead. I apologize. You was in mid
I really
sentence.
was.
You was. I apologize, man. I really do. Cause
Well, hell,
man.
you did that. I forgot where the hell I was going.
Okay,
So,
well, I apologize.
go ahead and
Cause I'm going where you going too.
Okay, well,
you know what
but
I'm saying.
I
We're going
want
there
to get
together.
there quick because we got to get to Atlanta. We
Okay,
ain't
go
even got
ahead.
to Atlanta
Okay,
yet.
go ahead, go
But I'm
ahead.
saying I don't remember what I was about to say. What
Okay,
was
well
the
then
last-
let me go. Listen. Janetta said, "Look, I'm telling you, if you keep trying to get your chips together, then it won't happen. Okay,
Put it up.
just make up in your mind that you coming by any means necessary and make it happen. Watch it happen. This is what she said. Saying, I was the same way until I finally made it happen and stepped out on faith. She said, I'm telling you, the universe will back you. That's what this is. And my thing is this, as a race of people of African descent, we just got a certain level of pride in us. Sometimes it's just not really good for us. That it's a certain type of pride that we carry. It's not good for us. When we have other people that's just like, yo, you know what? I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna ask for help. It's not like you're doing something evil or something bad. You're doing something that's gonna positively impact your life. Ask for some help. Look, hey, I'm thinking about going to a spiritual retreat because I want to be the best version of myself walking into 2023, and I need some help. Like, this is the cost. This is what I'm doing. I got this much amount of money put up to the side, and I'm going to continue to work towards that. But ask for some help. If you're going to ask for any kind of help, I mean, for real, if you're going to ask for any kind of help, I would say ask for some help for this, because what you're hearing Crystal say and what you've heard others say, ultimately at the end of the day, is that they had some problems. They had some problems in front of them. Some things that they were dealing with that was plaguing their lives that they were not happy about. They went on a journey, or they went on several journeys. And those things began to fall off. They saw things differently, and it changed their lives in the most positive way when they came up out of that journey, because their minds, their hearts, and they were moving on a different vibration, a different frequency.
It's gonna be the journey that tap you in. It's gonna
That's
be the
it.
journey that tap you in, where people be feeling. I heard people tell me that family members say, "I'm gonna wait till I buy my house," or "I'm gonna wait till after I buy these gifts for Christmas,"
Yeah.
or I'm gonna wait till I buy that car, or you know what I
Ooh,
mean?
man.
Because they feel like that's what their goal is, and that's what they feel like they have to do. But right, they're gonna take themselves wherever they go.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
gonna take themselves wherever they go. And when people say that they're going to wait,
Mm.
right, and it causes it causes doubt,
Right.
right? So when you know that 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 you're supposed to be there, then connect to that feeling, speak it into the atmosphere, and mean that shit. Connect it to your heart and move with intention with everything in you to make sure that you're going to be there, because you are the only one that can change your situation. How much longer are you going to sit in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I honestly I don't know when I'm gonna be coming back to Ann Arbor. Um, I honestly don't because I know I have to build things out here more on the West Coast. But you said I definitely
Mm-hmm. I'm
need
gonna
to
put it up.
change. Do you have any scheduled next year? Having a 70th party on the 10th. Okay, so we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Next year, yes, I do have some that I'm going to be scheduling. I'm going to be scheduling a weekend retreat in Atlanta in January.
Mm. Man, look
And then
here.
I'm going to be scheduling a weekend retreat in Indianapolis, Indiana in February. Oh, and January, I'm going to be scheduling something out here in in Cali too. So it'll be Cali and Atlanta actually in January. I ain't think about that. Damn, I just thought about that right now. Okay.
Well, let me just run these two little quick quotes real quick.
Okay, go
Then y'all
ahead
can
and
get
then
to
we
it.
can go to
Janetta
the next
said,
thing.
"Look, and with all the plasma running through your veins, it ain't no excuses, okay? I'm just saying. When I say any means, damn it, that's what I mean. I'm not too proud for my peace and my freedom. Come on now,
You know
that's
what?
what she's saying.
I honestly I forgot that happened, but
Janetta
I
wasn't
was
playing.
like, what? Janetta went and her boo was like, we going to sell some plasma.
We gonna do whatever we gotta do to get this money
That's what you do.
legally.
Okay,
We gonna
that's
do whatever we gotta do legally to get this bread.
I done had people say I'm about to be lifting it up. I'm about to be door dashing it up. I'm about to be, you know what I'm saying?
Grub hubbing it, whatever you got to do. Kenya said this. She said, "I'm gonna say this. I keep,
I
I
kept.
kept telling Janetta I'm going,
Mm-hmm.
and she know what happened. My ass got fired. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still going. She got the running emoji.
I done had people say that they was going and put their deposit down, and their mother done passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and they was like, I'm coming because they knew that they were supposed to get there, and they came and it changed their life.
Somebody
Well,
said
for
it's
me, for
$150 a
me,
pop. Yes.
for me, when I said I was coming to the Atlanta one, it was on my birthday. And I said, look,
Mm.
it's the best birthday gift I could give myself. I've been
There
this
it
place,
is.
I've been that place, and came back all messed up still. I said, I enjoyed my little 2 days away and then came back and was looking like, so why everybody? So I was like, yeah, this is the best gift I can give
Mm.
myself.
Ooh
So
wee.
I said, I'm going. I'm going. And even people were like, you going to do that on your birthday? You're not going to enjoy it with nobody? I said, I'm going to enjoy it with myself. And
There
then
it
I'm going to
is.
celebrate the rest of the time.
That's really what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Learning how to enjoy yourself, your own company, so you can make
Yep.
yourself happy and enjoy yourself. Then guess what? Then other people can really enjoy you. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying?
And
Exactly.
so
Because if you're
Yeah.
and
making
So
so
now
yourself
let's
this
get
better,
to it.
this second journey that you went on in Atlanta, which was the first day of the retreat, was completely different than the first journey, right?
yes.
So with this journey, with this one, she was before we always do another plant medicine ceremony called Hape or Rape ceremony, and it is indigenous plant medicine that has been used for hundreds of thousands of years.
Yes.
And it
Mm-hmm.
is the ashes from different trees from the Amazon, different herbs, and all that. And what it does is it opens up the pineal gland, right? And it helps protect you in the spiritual realm. It helps
Mm-hmm.
detoxify. That's what you was dealing with too when you was getting those toxins and your body was you was blowing your nose and all that night,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this night, Zeno had gave everybody a word, right, from spirit,
Mm-hmm.
right before they partook in the hape.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he said to Crystal was she was a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And so that night, during ceremony, that's exactly what she became.
Mm-hmm. Can
Lighthouse.
you
It
even
activated.
explain? Now, when you say she became a lighthouse, what does that mean? Like to somebody that's listening, like she became
It
a
activated
lighthouse.
my gifts. It was pulling, and that was one of my intentions, to find out who I am, to this world. So it activated my gifts. Not to say
Mm-hmm.
that activated my gifts, but the journey itself, it dug into my gifts, and you called out what you saw beforehand before it happening.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And again, here's the thing. Like, I don't want people to get it confused. Like everything that we're doing is done anciently and it's done sacredly. And what does that mean? Like we come from a religious background where we believe in God, right? Higher power, a higher source, right? And in our research, it's studying to see, okay, well, who is the one true and living God? Well, guess what? Not even here to debate it. We're already on the same page that we believe that this existence that we're in, we didn't create it. Something greater than us created this. The planet that we're on, the planets that are in this solar system, the universe and the galaxy that it sits in, and all the other universes wrapped up into this one. All right? So there's something that is much more intelligent, much more powerful, all knowing than us. We acknowledge that. And then at the same time, it is we're building this and doing this in a foundation of love because if you don't do it, if you do it in any other way, it's gonna be. I feel like there's gonna be a hole in the armor, right? If you do this in love, then that means that everything is covered because love. The word says that love covers a multitude of sins. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's sinful, but nobody's perfect. And if nobody's perfect, that means that when they come into that space that we have now, right, cleansed, we done went through this thing, and we doing this in love, that means that whatever somebody come with, they can actually lay that thing down without any condemnation, without any judgment, without any side eye, and really get to their healing. Not, oh, you see what kind of shoes they got on when they walking up to get hands laid on it. You see that outfit? Do you see his or her hair? Do you
We don't go for
the
none of that. We don't
whoopity
go for
whoop?
none of
None of
that.
This
that.
ain't no church stuff.
No, this ain't no church stuff, is it, Crystal?
I don't remember nobody when nobody had on, when nobody was. I don't remember none of
This stuff,
that.
excuse me, this ain't no church stuff. We doing this for real so that people can get healed.
Yes.
So whatever they come with and they saying, oh, I don't know, I just feel bad about this. And if that's the thing that's holding you back because somebody touched you inappropriately, guess what? That happens in life. It's unfortunate that it happens, but we here to love you through it. We here to walk you through to the lighter side of things so that you can take that and turn that into your power and not let it kill you and debilitate you and wear you down to where, what I'm saying, you ready to leave up out of this life in sorrow. No, we building you up in love, right? And we speaking life into you, and that plant medicine is doing a whole nother number on you to clean you up and give you everything that you need so that by the time you come up out of there, you already know what real love feel like. You know what real community feel like. You already done seen yourself. You done already been with God. And on top of that, you done got a whole bunch of answers, right, to some questions that you had. And I ain't talking about no little surface questions like, am I going to have money in my life? No, I'm talking about
That
real
is the
stuff.
last thing you thinking
That's
about.
not what you thinking
Where
about.
you on a damn journey. Hey,
Okay.
am I gonna make some money?
No, because at the end of the day, we always say that there's a trinity to this. You get your spirit and your mind, your mental and your emotions and all of that stuff right. That's the first part of the trinity, right? The second part is you get your physical together. Right? What you putting in your body, what's coming out of your mouth, what you looking at, what you listening to. This is the temple of God. according to the word. This is the temple. So you want to make sure that you take care of this because it houses your spirit. And if God is a spirit, then God is in you, then you are God in the temple. The spirit of God is in the temple. So you take care of that, you good. And then the third one is you ain't got no choice but to make money because you vibrating so high. You thinking differently. You out here now being more creative to help others in some kind of way where you'll end up creating 2 or 3 businesses, 4 and 5 businesses, doing something and having some courage to be able to make some moves to where you was sitting back and you was afraid to make some moves. Now you know who you are and you can walk in your authority and your power and be like, yo, I'm a king, I'm a queen, I'm a god, I'm a goddess
And
because I
watch
am
your
God.
unit, and you will be watching your universe unfold right before your eyes. You watch your heaven, you watch your hell unfold right before your eyes.
Man, come on.
Go ahead and watch it, but you'll be more attuned.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Yes.
see when the bullshit coming, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh,
I ain't
you
finna
here
get
to
distracted by
right?
that
You here to
bush.
trip me up? Oh, okay,
No.
right."
Yeah.
And see,
So
you won't be swayed. You won't be swayed from that,
yeah.
right?
So I just had to highlight that because now we talking about where there were some words that were spoken over Crystal. She was called a lighthouse,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of gave some details about that.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember,
Okay.
but
Let me give an example of
yeah.
that,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
An example of that
Mm-hmm.
is Crystal wanted to tell me something because her gifts was stirring up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't be allowing people to say stuff to other people for a
While we in a
while while
ceremony
we in
like that, yeah.
ceremony, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
becoming a time where I allow that, and I don't allow it because we not here to tell somebody about somebody else. We there to
Yeah,
work
you to
on
get your
us,
freedom.
right? And if
Uh-huh.
you spend your time using your gifts to tell somebody else what they got going on with them,
Mm-hmm.
then you could have been going in deeper for you, right?
Right.
So go in deeper for you, right? And then when you go in deeper for you and you push past them obstacles and you start to ascend, you do all that. Now let's work on the gifts, right? So it
Right.
came a point in time where she came over there and she started talking to me and she started telling me it's because my little sister was there too.
Yeah.
And she started telling me that I was supposed to talk to my little sister about something, but I didn't talk to her about it. And do you remember everything that you were saying to me, Crystal, or no?
Kind of, yes.
Because I know. Okay, okay. What do you remember?
I felt like you it was like you're holding back from giving your sister all the information that she needed. And it
Hmm.
was like you were trying to, you didn't want to let her know because you didn't want her, it was like you didn't want her to be in a space, but she needed to go through that space so she can ascend. So it was like you were not to say you were blocking her, but you were holding her up from being her full potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to protect her,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when she came to me and she said it, I knew it was real. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew what she heard, what she heard. She saw what she saw. She was in the spirit realm. She didn't
Yes.
know my sister. That was her first time meeting my little sister.
Mm-hmm. She was on point with that.
She was on point, and she was just like that with other people throughout the night. Also, it wasn't just with me, right?
Right.
And so, that night, I did not speak to my sister about anything, right? So now it's time for me to process too, because I got to process the kind of stuff that I'm seeing. I'm seeing stuff for me. I'm seeing stuff for everybody in the room. I'm seeing stuff
Mm-hmm.
for people that ain't in the room.
Right.
You know, I'm seeing stuff for people in
Yeah.
other states. So I'm just seeing a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the let's talk a little bit about your experience on the first night and quickly, and then we'll talk about the second night because the second night is now this woman done came to Ann Arbor, and then she came to Atlanta and went on the first ceremony the first night, and then the second night while in ceremony she told me that she thought it was fake. right? And I
That was
know
in
it has
Atlanta,
something to do
right?
in Atlanta with that night, and so we gonna talk about that, right? Because she knew it wasn't fake in Ann Arbor, and she knew it wasn't fake the first night in Atlanta.
Hmm.
But the second night, I told you everybody's journey is different. I don't care how many journeys you go on, right?
Yeah, I forgot about that. I actually forgot that you felt that way. Like, I want to hear this again because I had just totally forgot about it.
So to
Okay.
talk about the first night really quickly.
So the first night, of course, it was tapping into my gifts. It was experiencing, it was getting my creative side on. Um, it was a pour in. So it was a pour in.
What your intentions were.
Yeah, my intentions. It was my intentions getting a pour in of new information and how I needed to be treating things differently. One of my intentions on that first night was like I always say, like, I'm gonna give God the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
but it'd be like a tug of war. So I give it to him, but then I
Ooh,
take it back if he ain't moving quick enough. Then I give it to him, then I take it back, and he ain't moving quick enough.
Whoa.
And
wow. I
Okay.
love
so
that analogy
on
though.
that on that
Yeah.
night on that yeah on that first night, I looked at everything, and it was a point in time that you were like, okay, breathe, breathe. So it was like going back to your breath, and I saw that every time that I got worked up, if I breathe, I would be able to see how everything falls in line. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to see how everything was, if I take the moment to analyze the present and not thinking about why it's not happening fast enough, why it's not going on fast enough. I took the moment to look around. I was able to analyze, okay, boom, that's how that's working. Boom, that's how that's working. Boom, that's how that's working. But when you're in your mind so much, like I'm always in my mind. So when you're in your mind so much, you thinking about every point of it. You thinking about the past, the present, and the future all at the same time. So it's like if it's not working right then and there, you start thinking about the bad outcomes. You start thinking about the bad
Mm.
situations. You start thinking about this is why I thought this way and
Wow.
this. So when I took that moment to breathe, I was like, oh, okay. And then at that point, I really learned how to get, when I say give it to God, not like, okay, God, you do the work and that's it. It was more like once you cast that out, the information out into the atmosphere, let it work. Let that, understand that that process is going to happen. All things are working together for your good. And before I said that, but I really didn't understand that. So
Hmm.
I saw that as more as I let myself breathe and calm down in it and not over analyze it, and not, oh, it was that for me. So a lot of it was me talking to myself and saying, you see, everything's gonna be all right. You could just give it to him. Why you just don't want to give it to him and let it go? You want to give it to him, and then because it's not happening fast enough, now you want to change what you want to tweak it a little bit to be something else. When
Ooh
he's like, you
wee.
ain't even give me time to work. You ain't even give me time to put that in, put that together. You want to change it because it didn't happen on your time. But then I realized, okay, everything is happening, everything is connected, everything is happening on time.
Man, that's
Now, when you
beautiful.
said when you went back to breath, right? Oxygen, breath, the breath of life that we have, the oxygen that we have that we breathe inside and outside of our lungs is spirit.
Mm.
That is the Holy Spirit.
Isn't that something? Can you repeat what you just said for all? I'm always connected to my religious people because I used to be extremely religious myself.
When we say spirit, we talking about Holy Spirit.
Yeah, spirit,
Don't get
Holy
it twisted. We don't
Spirit,
be talking about no what spirit.
right?
Holy
Holy Spirit,
Spirit
and what is that?
is oxygen, is the breath of life.
Mm.
When you breathe your first breath of life, that is the Holy Spirit.
So, in essence, then Adam, when he was created, and God blew His breath into Adam, He actually blew the Holy Spirit
Right,
into Adam,
right.
because God
Exactly.
is holy.
Exactly. And when you
Okay.
breathe through your nose, and your nose is connected to your third eye, your pineal gland, right? So her third eye and her pineal gland is open, and she's working, and she's in the spiritual realm, and she's seeing things, and she's feeling things.
She receiving downloads
She receiving downloads.
from God.
For sure, like she knew exactly, who it was from. But
Yeah.
she said when she heard go back to their oxygen, and she did that. That's what we always say. Remember, always go back to your
your
breath.
breath.
We tell people, always go back to your breath. No matter what you feel, no matter what you see, always go back to your breath. That is because that is spirit. That is Holy Spirit. People go through shit and they hold their breath.
They be, ooh,
No.
no, that's the wrong response.
Breathe in, breathe out, release. Breathe it in
Yeah.
and then release it out, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the first night. First night was beautiful. Everything was everything.
Yeah.
Now, the first night for me, y'all, because I was being told that I was going to tap into my ancestors, because Atlanta is where a lot of my ancestors are from. My grandmother was from there. She's the only one out of all her siblings to move to Detroit. So her mother was there, her sisters or her siblings, like, and so on and so on, right? Georgia. And I didn't think about that when I set up the retreat. And I didn't think about it till the week I was getting ready to go to retreat. And I said, oh, man, I'm about to tap into my ancestors. And I got a little nervous,
Yeah.
right?
I
And
was
so
like, what is
it
that
was a
about?
reason that my sister, that was the first time my sister had been on a 2-day retreat. And so she was supposed to be there because I was going to tap into our ancestors, right? And so I had an expectation too. Right? And remember, I told you, don't come in here with no expectations. I said, don't come in here with no expectations, because it's going to breed disappointment. Come in with intention. My expectation was that first night, I was going to tap into my ancestors. Right? And so I just knew it was going to happen, because in every other ceremony on the second night is more relaxed, chill night. Right? Because people are more so helping each other. They're doing blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, they
whatever,
they
right?
didn't receive the major breakthroughs on that first night, so
Exactly. So, of course, it's different. So I'm like, we chilling. We chilling tonight. So I know my ancestors ain't coming through now. I'm like, oh, well, I guess they wasn't supposed to come. I thought they wasn't. I guess they wasn't supposed to come. And so I detached from that.
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I detached from it because I didn't have it in a box. It's going to come on the first night, because it's normally how first night go down. And so when the ancestors started to speak, and started to speak to everybody, and started to speak to my sister, those were the things that I was holding back from telling my sister,
sharing with
the
her.
feelings that I was having, right? And the things that she was supposed to do, and who she really was. Right? And so it was because I was like, I'm not trying to put that responsibility on her.
Yeah.
When I look at her, she's still a baby to me. I still see the little baby that was also my little sister, who's also my goddaughter, because we had to have it like that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm seeing, even though she has a son of her own. So that's what I was trying to protect her of. And so it started going down. And I call it the first session because it took so much out of me. I had to say, woo, I'll be back. And so I went to the restroom. And when I came back out, I walked past Crystal. And Crystal was on her hands and knees.
Yeah.
Like a dog. Did I tell you what I saw when I looked at you?
No.
I never told you what I saw. Who? Wait, do you remember what was going on in your mind at that time? I would love to know that before
I remember, yes. I remember what was going on in my mind.
And then I'll tell people what I saw.
Okay, so in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but it didn't look right. It just didn't look right to me. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I saw a bad vibe. It was a whole bad vibe I saw, and I was like, this is not what it is. This is this is not what this is not what I came for, is what I really wanted to say. But I was like, this is just, this is not what was supposed. I don't know. I just felt
You
like
was
I
like, I
wasn't.
didn't
That
sign
wasn't the
up for
part.
this.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for that.
you felt a vibration. You was connected to a specific
Yes,
vibration. You was the
yes,
only one in there that was
Yeah.
connected to it.
Yep.
yes. I was like, I
Uh-huh.
don't know what's going on, but this is not. I I don't receive it.
Okay, so that's how you was feeling. So when I came out the bathroom and I saw you, now this is gonna sound like a movie, y'all. And as I've told a few people, and they be like, "Damn, that sound like a scary movie."
Go ahead.
It was kind of like a scary movie. I was not the only one that saw it, right? Some other people that was at the retreat saw what I saw on you. And so you looked up, you were on your hands and your knees, and your behind was towards me, but your head turned and your head was looking back and up at me. You looked like a evil dog. Your face was extremely elongated. Your chin was extremely elongated. Your eyes were so small, it was like slits.
Wow.
And you was grimming me so hard. You was grimming me so hard. If eyes could cut, I would have been all cut up.
Slice, slice, stab.
Right? And I said,
He said, I don't like
I'm
that
not
look that you
liking
look at
this.
me.
You said
Yeah,
what?
that's what you
What,
said. I
what
don't
you
like
say?
this. You said, I don't like this look that you giving me. I don't like this look. I don't like this. What's going on? What you thinking? And I was crying because I was just like, this. I know this can't be what I'm seeing. I don't
I'm
want to
like, you
believe what
better
I'm seeing.
breathe. I'm like, breathe, breathe.
Yep.
Because I knew what it was. And I saw what it was. She had an entity attached to her at that time. That's why she was feeling that specific vibration, right? It was some more things that was supposed to be broken off of her, and now it was time to break it off.
And
And
they
that
showed
demon
up.
or that
It
entity
showed
started
up.
showing up,
Oh wow.
right? But it was showing up on me. It was trying to show up on me, and I said, "Oh, let me go to the bathroom." I said, "Baby, you go ahead and deal with Crystal
Yep.
because I have to deal with the other people right now." And so, uh, it was times in the night to where one time you came and you was like, "You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go." She was telling me, y'all, "You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go." And I was like, "Let what go?"
And it's so crazy that you say that because sometimes when I'm talking out, I'm talking to myself.
Ah, yeah,
That
yeah,
happens
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot in
yeah.
ceremony.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been told so many times, when people look at me, they see a mirror of themselves,
Or their mother, or
right?
yeah.
Or their mother, or space. I've heard a lot of different things when people look at me in ceremony, but the thing that terrifies them the most is like a mirror. People say to me a lot in ceremony the things that they should be saying to themselves
Right.
because it becomes a mirror, right? You're hitting triggers. And the point is to hit those triggers to see what the root cause is so that you can go and pluck up the root and now ascend from that, release the weight. And so you were like, "You gotta let it go." And I'm like, let what go? And you was like, "Whatever you holding on to." And I was trying to explain to you, "Look, I'm not holding on to anything. Trust me." And I went down the line to the people that truly know me. My husband has been knowing me forever.
Yeah.
If anybody know I done let something go, he know I
Oh
done let
yeah.
something go. My son
Yeah.
knows. So I started going through there. Like
Hmm.
people were like, no, no, no. Like
No, she's changed. She's
she
not holding on
she
to
not she
nothing.
not she not holding on to that. And I was
Yeah.
trying to explain to her that the only way that I could have been there to tap into my ancestors was to let everything go. And that was my everybody got a ceremonial preparation guide, including myself.
Hmm.
I go on many journeys, and every time I go on a journey,
Right.
it's to go deeper in me and remove all the bullshit. Remove it. I'm not trying to hold on to nothing. And I was supposed to release everything, tell a new story,
Hmm. Mm.
be grateful for everything that my ancestors have
Had
done,
done. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And I whether and then I was also told that their weaknesses, the way that they love, the way that they die, all of that is going to be a power to me, but I have to be able to release that, right? And that's
Hmm.
what I had been working on, and that was gone, right? That's how the ancestors was able to
Show up
show
like
up,
that and show out. Yeah.
right? And so later on that night, um I was in the room, I think, and then you said Zeno came outside and had everybody work on their breathing, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's
Give me
talk.
one second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to change my room.
Oh, okay,
No,
that's
I'm
okay.
listening. I'm
Okay.
listening though.
Oh, okay. So no, I just want to talk about that when you said Zeno came out because you were still in this state of mind. You
Hmm.
know, this is fake. She holding on to stuff. She need to do whatever. Blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And what began to change when Zeno came out there to work? Because this is why it's important to be led and guided through these journeys, y'all. Because
Right.
people tap into different energies.
Hmm.
They're not aware who they tapped into. You
Hmm.
can't see yourself. The only way I know what myself look like now is because I'm on Alive. Other than that, I don't know what I look like. I know until I look in the mirror.
Hmm.
I know what my husband looked like.
Right.
So I be having to ask people what I look like. What you see when you look at me. I
Hmm.
really have to ask that, but I know what I clearly see when I look at them.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's important to be able to guide people through that. Because what if we had just left her there where she was at?
Oh man.
No kind of resolution, no kind of breathe, no kind of walking you
Right. No
through, no
guidance.
guidance.
She would have left that experience like something ain't right. And on a spiritual level, I'm not trying to tap into whatever that was. I'm not never trying to do that again. All it takes is one time for somebody to have what they call a bad trip or just having a bad experience. When really it's something that is inside of them that has to be extracted and excavated out of them because it was either attached to them, had been following them, whether based off of something they had opened themselves up to or ancestrally something was done and it was given a pass, a permit in order to cling on to the next generation and wreak and create havoc.
And
So,
so Zeno came out, and and can you tell me about that? You were saying he came out and talked to you guys about breathing.
Yes, he said he was just basically telling us to breathe and everything.
mhm.
He was just basically telling us to breathe and find our breath and all of that type of stuff. So it became it became easy to deal with. It became easy to get back to spirit. It was easy to basically come in alignment with the part that you're trying to tap into.
Yeah. Can I just tell you from my perspective because again, I wasn't on the medicine, but I felt led to have you guys do that because in my mind's eye what the Holy Spirit was telling me was when you walk them through this breathing is going to be like you know how they have like a line that separates a pool from the shallow and the deep, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
there's that line that goes across the pool and If
I'll
in
be right
fact,
back. Go ahead,
right,
keep
if
talking.
you're in shallow and you don't know how to swim in deep water, as a last resort before your behind gets scooped up into the 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet, 10, depending on how deep that pool is, and a person doesn't know how to swim, they can hold on to that rope. And that's what I was seeing. I, the Holy Spirit was showing me that rope that goes like across a pool, and it's like this is kind of like one of the last things that can save a person if they don't know how to swim, meaning if it's something that they don't really know how to handle in that environment. And if you cling onto your breath and you float in your breath, you'll be able to latch on to that rope and just hold on until there's the lifeguards that can come in and bring the long stick, right? Or give you a little floaty paddle or something and get out there to you to get you and rescue you to bring you to safety. So I'm walking you guys through, bro. Okay, breathe, take a deep breath. All right, now, hold it for 5 seconds and think these thoughts, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now breathe, boom, right? And we're going through this flow to get you guys back in a place where you're connecting to watch this life, because that's what breath is, life.
Did Janetta say who's that?
Oh yeah,
Janetta
so
said
now this is what Janetta said. Janetta said just she was speaking about just the experience and the ancestors showing up and everything. She said, yeah, because I was hollering loud and I can hear Princella telling me to breathe.
mm,
It was an amazing, mystical, spiritual, and magical experience. And she said, without Crystal and Amanda, I don't know if my love would have pushed through. Okay?
mm.
See, this becomes a united situation,
Yes.
right? This is your sister. Brittany said, I didn't even realize why I wanted to come to Atlanta, but afterwards it made it made sense. It made actually it says, but afterwards it all made sense. I was meant to be there.
Yep, you was meant to be there.
Yeah, because she got activated in some things.
For sure. And so after that, it came to the point to where I was in my room and Crystal came in the room, and this is when I found out that this is the first time I thought that I heard that she thought that it was fake, right? Because she came in the room and she was like, "Okay, I gotta talk to you." So I'm like, "Okay." So she's in the room, okay, and then you want to tell me what you were saying. Tell them what you were saying.
Yeah, what were you saying?
I through breathing, through taking that time to analyze and look at stuff, I was like, oh, I realized it was sometimes we see something and we too quick to talk about it and not actually spend that time in the presence to realize what is really going on. It's kind of like how people say you jump to conclusions and you
Triggered.
how I remember
Just
somebody
jumped
used
out
to
there.
say to me, "You all in the Kool-Aid, don't even know the flavor." So it was
Boom.
that's how it was. It was like, wow, okay. Sometimes you just be talking too quick and you haven't took the time to realize all
Mm.
the pieces that were in the puzzle. So when I had got all the pieces in the puzzle, I felt like I needed to apologize to you, even though you didn't even know what was going on. I felt like I need to apologize to you because for me, I was thinking something that wasn't true.
Hmm.
Um, I was thinking in my mind, oh, this is fake. Oh, I don't know. Like, I know what I experienced. I know nobody can't tell me that I ain't go, like, God wasn't in front of me talking to me. So it was like, I didn't understand, but I got so, I was angry with you at that point. So when you said I looked at you that way, I was angry with you. And I know you didn't know that I was angry with you, but I was angry with you. And I was like, why am I angry with her?
Oh, I
But I,
knew you was angry with me because I know what I was looking at.
You know
Oh,
what you
I
saw.
knew. I know what I saw.
yeah, I was angry with you. So I had to go apologize to you because of how I felt. Because I knew it wasn't something I should have felt, but at the same time, I didn't understand every part of it. So when I finally understood every part of it, I started to feel sorry. I was like, not sorry. I felt like I apologized. I don't know how to say it, but
You were, yeah,
I
you
felt
wanted to
Apologetic.
yeah,
apologize.
I
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
were
apologize.
apologetic.
So I was like, let me go tell her how I felt so I can apologize to her. And that's why I was like, I thought all of this was fake for a moment, but then I realized why all of this happened. I realized how everything came together. I realized how we were all connected. I realized
Mm-hmm.
how the world works and we're all connected, even though we don't
Right.
realize how we're all connected. It kind of was like God was telling me, see, this aligns in this part and this comes together and we all are connected and this is how we move in life. And I realized, just God's plan of having us all connected and we're all supposed to be in alignment. So if for me it was more of telling you that I see you and I see all the parts of you, and I felt like that you needed my support and I didn't give you my support. And I said, through
Right.
this whole time, the first night in Ann Arbor, this time in Atlanta, the first night, like you had my back in everything that I was going through. And I was like, I didn't feel like I had your back. So that's why I wanted to apologize, because I felt anger towards you instead of having your back. And I know you didn't need me to have your back, but I felt like, you
Yeah.
know, why I didn't have your back.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, we get that.
I feel
And
you.
we
I feel you.
appreciate that
Now,
too.
what was the reception? Was there any kind of condemnation? Was it met with any kind of aggression? Like what? Like
To you, no, you were just like, oh, I'm good, my ancestors had me. You were very sweet about it. It wasn't
I
like,
didn't
girl,
care
I
that
knew
you.
I
I
needed
didn't
an
care that you was
apology. It
mad.
wasn't like that.
Yeah, and I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I didn't care that you was mad. Hell, people get
Yeah,
mad at me all the time in ceremony. That don't bother me. That's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. I know the space that I'm in. I
Right.
know
yeah,
I'm gonna deal with all different kind of
Kinds of attitudes
energies.
and
yeah,
That shit
yeah.
ain't. It's not gonna shift me because I know what it is. I'm looking at you and I can see what it is and I can see what's
yeah,
holding on to you. So
Hmm.
what I'm gonna do? Get upset? I'm gonna
Right.
get mad because you
No.
on a frequency and I can see what? No, I know exactly what it is. We've been in the spirit realm many
Too many
times.
times
So
now.
why would I get upset? Ain't no condemnation.
but I
Ain't
don't know. I don't know how you feel. I just know how
right.
I felt. I was like, look, this. I
Yeah,
felt
that
like
was
I
a
should
bit
have had
much,
your back.
right? That
That
was
Yeah,
a
medicine
bit
was
much.
like,
Uh
yeah.
oh
huh.
man, apologize,
Uh huh.
huh? I
But
didn't even know. I didn't even have any clue that you felt like it was fake. I knew you was angry,
Hmm.
right? And so some of the things that you were saying to me when you were saying it to me, I appreciated it, right? Because I encourage people to be them true self, them to be their
there.
true selves.
Hmm.
I encourage people in ceremony period to be authentic. Don't come up in here with no fake stuff.
Hmm.
Be who you are authentically
And
because
say
that's
how
the
you
only way
feel.
that you're going to heal, right?
Right. Right.
Because
Yeah.
guess what? When the medicine kick in, you ain't gonna better keep that mask up anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Would you
Yeah.
been able to keep up the I'm this and I'm that and I'm waiting on somebody to pop up? No, you're not. You ain't even thinking about that.
No, you don't have the
At all.
capacity to, because you able to. You now you at a place where you can actually see yourself
Yeah.
and see the root causes of why you kind of tick the way that you do.
Yeah.
That's being naked. When you see yourself naked for real,
Yeah.
it's this medicine is built to slay the ego.
Yeah.
Period. So there's
Period.
no ego involved when you underneath that medicine.
Even
It
though
just is what it
even though
is.
ego will try to show up,
Yeah,
Yes.
but I'm gonna
depending
tell.
on the connected to the trauma and whatever entity, but
Exactly.
when you get down to the core of the being, the human being, oh no.
It's a complete healing space.
Yeah.
It's a complete healing space.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had people tell me when you said this or whatever to me before, whatever, I was mad at you, or blah blah blah, and I'm looking like, do it even matter now?
Right. It don't matter.
Now that you in ceremony, do it even matter that you was mad?
Mm-hmm.
Now you know the truth. You sitting in the truth. Do nah, whatever I had to do to get you here. Are you happy?
Right.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was all
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
Right? I
Um,
understand now, but when you don't understand, when you don't know, you know. Now you
Yeah.
know.
let me look, I have to ask this because we don't really have a lot of time now, right?
No.
It's so much that we haven't covered. It's like every after the journey interview when we talk. Trust me, y'all. It's so much stuff that we haven't. We really just kind of like scratching the surface. But let's
Right,
just
because
kind of get
these
to
journeys last for about 6 to 7 hours.
right. Exactly.
Okay.
So I guess my thing is, what would be important for people to really know walking away from this is how are you doing now after the journey? Like after the journey, what's happening? What are some of the differences that you can see? What good, bad, ugly, beautiful,
Well,
what's happening?
well, of course, I know I treat my kids differently. I know I'm still in the I still have work to do. I'm not gonna lie about that. I definitely still have work to do because, my old habits try to come back in with the way of my thinking. So
Hmm.
I definitely, but the thing is that even though old habits are trying to come back in, I recognize it and I'm able to change it faster. So
Right,
it's
you're
not like,
aware.
yeah, before I was just oblivious to it and I would just let it take over me. Now I'm like, oh, I see you. Let me figure. Let me
Hmm.
let me let me get my vibration up because you tried it, but it's not, you're not gonna do this. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know the
that's
things to
good.
do now, and I do know the ways to be better at it, and I'm more aware of stuff. So it definitely, even if that is part of my work that I need to do, I know it's something that I definitely would have not been able to know or do without the journey. Um, I feel, I don't know, I feel amazing. Of course, my health is going up. I'm working out more. I'm eating better. I'm not gonna say I fully got rid of meat, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm
Okay.
getting there.
The more you
I
go
make more
inside
conscious.
yourself, it's gonna kick itself right on out. I ain't even worried about it. That's
Yeah,
what's going on. It's happening more and more to people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I ain't
Hmm.
gotta say
I'm
nothing.
Yeah.
I'm conscious, and I make conscious decisions to not eat it. Some days I do, but I'm making more conscious. As I said, just being more aware of what I should be doing. It makes me more and more get rid of it.
That's it.
I don't know. I feel amazing. So I could tell you, I used to be having road rage in the streets. I don't have that.
Hmm.
um, I used to want to snap off on people. I don't have that. I have more compassion towards people. And it's funny is that now I know that I've dealt with my trauma. I'm more of saying, oh, they still got that trauma. They still got trauma like that. It's more of I'm gonna let them pass because they don't realize what they're doing to themselves yet. So it's more,
Yes.
I became more compassionate with that. I don't know. I
Okay,
definitely
let's
I
talk
know
about
I'm
it.
doing better.
Yeah, let's talk about it because I always bring people back to the Trinity, right, of healing. So
Yes.
spiritually, we've been talking about this throughout the whole process, right? Spiritually, physically, you said that you've been working out and everything and all of that, and you're doing things that you're supposed to be doing, right?
Yes.
Um, but then let's talk about financially. Like, it seems like business wise and everything else. What's happening with you?
Yes. Yes, business. I'm definitely making some better business decisions. I'm doing a lot of research. I'm doing a lot of research. So like every other night I'm on a webinar. I'm learning Facebook because I ain't know Facebook, but I definitely know it's a thing that we're doing right now. So um yeah,
Well, I
it's
think I
definitely,
remember. I can talk about an instance here where you kind of
and
shared. You
I'm
just told
I'm
me.
listening, but give me just a moment.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
listening though.
Okay, well, I'll share it with the people. So again, I had the opportunity and the privilege to be able to work with Crystal in regards to some financial matters to help her position herself in a place where she can begin to build generational wealth and to make sure that her family and everything has coverage and that everything is good. And she shared with me about a situation where she was kind of fearful before going into the journey to kind of leap out right on faith in regards to an opportunity. It's kind of like a career choice or a career decision. And after these journeys, pardon me, she was more confident, and she was like, "Hey, you know what the hell? Like, I'm just gonna go after this opportunity." And where she would have talked herself out of it previously many times before, she was like, no, I'm just going, here it is, this is the intention that I have for my life, right? And I have like this little desire out here, this little goal, so I'm going to go after an opportunity. She attracted an opportunity to her by coming going to these journeys, and now she's vibrating how she attracted a very nice opportunity. And guess what? She didn't self sabotage herself. Can you tell just a little bit about what happened with that?
Yeah, so just basically, getting finally getting life insurance. Finally jumping into that because before I used to be like, oh, because I sold car insurance, and I would be like, oh, car insurance is like the stupidest thing for me in my mind because after that point, it just never continues on. And I'm like, okay, so I'm worried about car insurance and doing that. So it made me fearful of getting life insurance. I'm like, oh, is life insurance is on the same path. But then I said, okay, no, let me go ahead and step into this because it basically is, it's a, not a backup plan, but it's more of something to bring me into the next portion of it. Okay, why are you worried about this? You should set up something so you don't have to be worried about this. Or as you said, generational wealth, it's setting up something so you continue on, and you don't have to put that fear or continue to have that fear in your back leg. You're just like, okay, I took care of that, now let's move on to the next thing. Okay, you took care of that, now let's move on to the next thing. So just basically
Yeah,
getting
no.
set up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's
just doing
beautiful.
the work. You doing
And
the work and
Yep.
taking the steps that you're supposed to take to
Yep.
create your universe.
right. And then on top of that, you mentioned something about I think it's relative to the entertainment industry where you kind of an opportunity came to you.
Yes. So
Hmm.
I had a perspective in my mind in the entertainment system that everybody treats everybody a certain type of way, and everybody just downs people, and it's nothing gonna come good out of it. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. And then I thought about it and I was like, no, this is going to set up this is going to align this way. This is going to align this way. And I was like, okay, we going to get up and do this and we're going to figure it out. And then when I got into the situation, I was like, wow, this is not what I expected at all. So back thinking, I would have said, oh no, I'm just not going to just shut it. I would have shut it down. I would have said, nope, I don't want to do this. And that's it. But then I said, no, let's think about this because this came to me for some reason. I've been asking for certain things and this
Look,
came to me for some reason. I said, it has to be something I'm gonna try out and figure it out, or I'm not gonna try it out and talk myself out of it and it just not gonna work out. But yeah, I was like, let me jump into this. And then the whole vibe when I was there, it was like, you thought what? Because I was
hmm
thinking everybody's gonna be mean and just gonna handle me different and they just gonna um, treat me as a number, treat me as a nobody.
hmm
Mm.
And when I got there, everybody remembered my name. Everybody was talking to me kind. Everybody was loving. The atmosphere just wasn't what I expected it to be, and I was like,
mm.
okay, you
Wow.
need to start thinking differently because if you think a certain way and you talk yourself out of certain things, you could be missing so many opportunities. You
Yes.
could
There it
be missing
is.
so many things that was meant for you. Like you keep asking for a blessing and then you get that blessing and you talking yourself out before you even get to the blessing. So then you be like,
Ooh,
okay,
wait.
God, why you ain't send me no blessing? He like, nope, I sent it to you. I
Hmm.
did.
Yeah,
I
I've been
did.
sent it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I sent it to you, and you was like, "Nah, that ain't gonna work because
Yeah, because
what
that's
I
not
heard
how it
about
happened the
that."
last time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Just like you said, your expectation. I said it.
Yep.
Don't be having
right.
no expectation.
Yeah, you
Just
go
move with
in.
intention.
That's
Move,
it.
and that's what you did. You was expecting them to be a
To
certain
act a
way,
fool.
and so your mind told you that, and you talked yourself out of
Got it.
some things that could have jumped off a while ago,
Years probably
Yep.
ago for yourself.
right?
Yeah.
And so now you have a different mindset, and
Hmm.
now you're actually doing the work because now you know that you can create your universe. You already see
Yep.
what it feels like to vibrate on a certain frequency, right? And
Right.
so you see yourself a certain place financially. So now you have to do the work to vibrate on that frequency, right?
Yep.
So you said, I'm researching, I'm on a lot of webinars. This is a part of doing the work, not sitting
Right.
there and saying, you know what, I'm about to watch this whole series, just bam, 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 bam,
It
bam,
ain't
bam,
gonna
bam.
bring up my
But
life in any type of way.
you know what I'm saying? That's why I just did a reel. Who gonna tell? Who gonna come tell you take the to cut TV off and get to work? Who gonna
I
tell you
saw
to get
that.
up and get out the
Yes.
bed and go to the gym? Who gonna tell you? Ain't nobody gonna tell you that.
You have to
You
tell
gotta tell
yourself that.
yourself that.
Yeah.
You have to be the one to make the decision.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to know that it's for you, and you have to move forward. I've always been the type of person. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna end this. I've always been the type of person to where I would uh go after my dreams, I guess.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
And
You had a lot of willpower. And I think people don't, I have to say this, just knowing you. When you had an idea in your mind of what you saw for yourself, and you saw that it was good for yourself, then it was like, I'm finna do that. Like, I'm just finna go after that. And the thing that we've been talking about mostly all night too is making a decision, then aligning with that decision. And you've always done that. Like when you
right.
decided to do something, then it was like, oh shit, okay, here it is. So
Then
I'm
I then I
moving, I'm
then
going, I'm
I would
moving.
move in it. I
That's
wouldn't
it.
care what the
Yeah.
opposition was. I
Yeah.
wasn't doing it, and then things would just
Yeah.
show up, not even knowing that I'm moving
Yeah.
with intention.
Yeah.
But because of how I was raised, the environment I was raised in, the violence that I saw, all of the desensitizing that happened, right? To me, I didn't trust anybody. Right? And when I say I didn't trust anybody, I'm like, if I can't trust the people at the crib that's supposed to be taking care of me, I damn sure can't trust you or you or you or you or you. Stay away from me. No new friends. On the friends I grew
Yeah.
up with, if we ain't been cool for 20 some years, then
Then
kick rocks.
deuces. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
That's how it
so
was.
I was so much like that to
Wow.
where I was the only one that did my hair. Still do. Because I didn't just trust people in my head. Right? When I wanted eyelashes, I'm gonna learn how to do the eyelashes because I don't trust nobody to do my lashes. Right?
Wow.
I want a manicure or I want a set of nails. I'm gonna learn how to do that because I don't trust nobody to be on my nails. Right? And so I went through my life, everything that I've ever wanted to do. That's why I've been a researcher. I've had to research. I had to learn how I had to learn, however I had to learn. Right? And so I'll be like, look, I want to do that. Bam, I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn how to do it. And I said, I'll learn from YouTube University. Because that's where I was learning from a lot of other things besides maybe courses or something that I had, signed up for with this herbalism type stuff, right?
Yeah.
But with that being said, I chose that path and I wasn't trusting. And so now it comes a time to where I'm vibrating higher and I start a business because I've always worked for myself, but I always worked for myself. I had a day spa. Okay, I had a couple partners. My thing was I'm coming to work, I'm doing my clients, and I'm busting up. I don't care nothing about the back office stuff. Long as everything paid, bills paid, everything cool, my clients cool, I'm cool. Bye. I'm not trying to do nothing extra. Right? And so I started seeing myself where I started seeing myself and I started doing the work. And I started seeing that the things that I was doing and the procrastination that was going on in my life was stopping me, right? Me not trusting people because now
Right.
it comes to a point to where, remember, I'm on YouTube University, free 99, free 99 and it up. And it came a point in time to
Yeah.
where I knew we was going to have to get some mentors and we had to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get the mentors, right? And we knew that them mentors was going to teach us some stuff, right?
Yeah.
That you're not going to learn on YouTube. You're not going to
No.
learn none of this stuff.
No.
You know what I mean? For free. And
No.
it's going to be very valuable. And all we would have to do is do the work. Right? And so you come to a point to where you get so uncomfortable where you're like, do I want to stay here? Do I want to give up? And do I want to stay here? Or do I want to fight and do the work in order to push past what I need to push past? Because I didn't want to hire no employees.
Yeah.
Even though one of my mentors was saying, if you want to scale your business, like at the time, damn, I'm making in the bitch I'm vegan brand, I'm making 3 figures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, well if you want to go to
You made $300 this
right,
month.
and then
Five
okay,
hundred
I raised
dollars.
my vibration, and then I went to four figures, and I'm talking about in a month, right? And so I knew that I had to keep pushing past fear. I had to keep pushing past the things that was holding me back and let go of the trauma and change, have a mindset shift to continue to push past it. Then I made it to, wow, now I'm vibrating on a higher frequency because when I broke down, not wanting to hire nobody because I ain't trust nobody, the minute I hired somebody is when I started making five figures of money in the business. Right? So the very thing that I'm fighting against and running from is the very thing that
You
I
need
need
to
to
be
be
running
running to.
towards. Yeah.
Right? And things is starting to happen more where things I would sit down and it would take me 2 years to do something. I'll make a
Literally.
decision and say, because I didn't want to spend the money.
Literally two
I'm gonna
years.
learn how to do it. I know how to do everything myself.
Yeah.
Spending 2 years going around something, still don't know how to do it,
Yeah.
something still ain't up, and then you just say, you know what, I'm gonna make a decision, do like the rich people do, and I'm gonna outsource. I'm gonna pay you to do this, and this person gonna do it in 5 business days. And I done
And-
sat here and worked on it 2 years, not wanting to pay nobody, not wanting
yeah.
to come up off no money, having all of this stress on me, and just with that one decision and just busting through and saying, I'm gonna trust this.
Yep.
Boom, just like that. 5 days, something that was taking me 2 years.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. That's what
Yeah.
this is about. Being
Yeah.
able to tap into your best self, be able to vibrate the way you're supposed to be vibrated, and to be able to attract the things that you're supposed to attract and release the things that you're supposed to release. Crystal, we love you.
Let me ask you this, Crystal, because I know she going through this
Okay,
thing.
I know because we gotta
Before we
go.
before we go, is there anything that you would like to say to people, especially being on a journey or experiencing journeys, and you want to say to somebody that's never done this before, and they able to hear you, something, look at you and see themselves and be like, girl, what you finna say to me right now that'll make me even halfway think about doing what you did.
To be honest, it honestly, I really can't. I can't phantom of why people don't. If you know what you've been trying, ain't working, it ain't never worked, and you still want to run on that treadmill, I don't understand. If you're not going nowhere, why would you continue to run on the same treadmill? Um, for me, I just say, what's the worst that can happen? Because what you've been trying is your worst.
Wow.
It's like you're already, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're already at
Mhm.
your worst. You're already at your worst. So
Yeah.
why would stepping out and doing something else? Why not try it? Because for me, you try something and you figure out, hey, this is not for me. Irks, we can go ahead and see, but you don't tried it, and then you can
Hmm.
make your comment or your selection. But
Yeah.
I can't phantom why somebody would be doing something they sick and tired of being 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 sick and tired, and you still say, "Oh, let me go ahead and still be sick and tired." I
For
can't.
6 more months or a
Yeah,
year.
I
Yeah.
can't.
For 6 more months
I
or a year.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I know they say common sense ain't always common, but I just
For sure.
for me it's just like I can't choose. I can't choose to say, "Hey, I'm not going nowhere, so let me just continue to not go nowhere."
Ooh wee.
Mm.
So I don't know. I don't know really what to say to somebody, but I just
No, you just said a mouthful because what you're saying is if it doesn't add up and you realize that you're doing the math and the math isn't
ain't
mathing and it's not
nothing.
adding up, then you got to switch that up. You
Yeah,
got to do something
If you
because
else.
won't change,
Yeah.
I've
if you don't,
always
you just
heard
stay on the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
I've always heard it's called insanity when you keep doing the same thing expecting different results. But how long do you continue to do the same thing and
Hmm.
not get any results and say literally say I'm going to choose to continue to do the same thing?
because your mama did it or your grandmama did it, your daddy and them did it,
Yeah, but it
your
didn't work for
uncle.
them, and you already see it's not working for you. So how?
Right,
How?
right.
Make it make sense is what all I'm saying. Make it
Hmm.
Make
make
it make sense.
There it is, y'all. So y'all heard it from Crystal. Man, look here. She really gave y'all the business. She was really extremely transparent for the most part, and she gave y'all the real. She gave y'all the raw. She let y'all know what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Where she was, what she experienced, and how she's doing now.
yeah.
And it sounds like it's all good to me. Like it's going in the right direction.
It's
You
definitely
made the
going in the
right
right
decision.
direction, and that's up.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay.
You know
So
Period,
what they say?
Pooh.
It's up and it's stuck. That's exactly where it's at.
yeah.
Hey,
Hey, that's
all
what's
day,
up.
all
Okay.
day.
She's smiling. I had the opportunity when I was working with her about with some financial things. I had the opportunity to see her children and her interacting and talking to each other. I knew then. I was like her. She's never gonna be the
Yeah.
same. Like those babies' lives have changed for the better because that was a love conversation. I said, "Hey, mommy, this and that," and sometimes children they want what they want, and they go, "Mama, mama, mama," and she was so chill, like, "Okay, babe, hold on, wait a minute, this and that." It was not. Look, I told you. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't what it was.
Yep.
It was something way different, man, and that's what
When you
we.
know
That's
better,
what
you do better.
God has
When
put
you
us in a
know better, you
position to
do
be able to
better.
provide the way different for y'all. So with that being said, Crystal man, we love you. You know what I'm saying? Your family,
Love you
um,
too.
everything is connected to you, and we look forward to seeing you again, talking to you again. We're getting ready to do some more retreats. We looking into 2023, and we getting prepared for
Yes.
that. And like you said, it ain't nothing but up, from here. So
Yep.
we what I'm saying, on that note, man, we love you and thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your story.
No problem. Love you guys too. I appreciate all the love, all the attention, all of that, everything. I really thank you so much for providing the answer to my problem because look at here. I thank y'all for doing so much research that y'all did to get me some answers.
No, that's real. We did become the guinea
Yes.
pigs for everybody else. My wife, that's her philosophy. I'm not finna lead nobody to nothing. I'm not finna put my hands on nobody. I'm not finna do nothing if I haven't tried this out for myself, tested it, tried and true
I've
to make sure
always
that it's
said,
good.
I've always said, my business model have always been, I'm not about to have nobody pay me to guinea pig on them.
Good night, Janetta.
Period.
We love you,
So
Saniqua fam. Everybody that showed up, it's all good. We love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Remember, the information is at the bottom of the screen. It is scrolling. If in fact you are interested, you still holding on to this, and or you pass this on to somebody for them to view. Look, it's not too late, but you got to hurry up because the spaces are actually going. We want to be able to help as many. Hey, look, there you
yeah,
go.
we
There
have
you
some.
handsome. Yeah,
Hey,
uh-huh. Yep.
yeah, we have some spaces that are sold
Hey,
out
he
already.
waving at
So
you.
hey, boo.
Okay. Yeah. So, what were you saying? You said there's some spaces that's left. What's happening?
No, I
What's
said
going
there
on?
are some spaces that are sold out. So
Yes, exactly.
yeah. But yeah, so if you notice what you're supposed to do, then do it.
Right.
If you
Kenya, we
don't,
love you too.
then don't.
Yep.
We love
Angelique.
y'all.
Yeah. It's
Um,
all good.
we gonna holler at y'all. We gonna be coming again, doing a live this weekend sometime, and we gonna be bringing more uh testimonials and all that good stuff. Right? We
Mm-hmm.
love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Deuces.